some small accumulations are possible, but it is going to snow across St. Louis. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The COVID era has wreaked havoc on blood supplies. That's why what you accomplished right before Christmas was so remarkable. 97.1 listeners, along with our St. Louis Odyssey stations, showed up over 3 days at area YMCAs and donated over 900 units of blood. You weren't afraid. You showed up and you met the need. Go to redcross.org and continue to give. With 97.1 FM Talk.
Jewels on Hampton and St. Louis Hill is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler featuring Alvanza's jewel art designs with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, coins, flatware, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks and sports memorabilia and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa, and jewelsonhampton.com. Call them at 314-752-5000, 314-752-5000, and jewelsonhampton.com. Jewels on Hampton.
Home values have skyrocketed.
And Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low 1.875% rate.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With our low rates and your increased equity, you can make home improvements or pay off debt.
Woo-hoo! Plus, skip your next 2 mortgage payments. Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending, short my blues.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.952% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
So what are you looking forward to this year? Your anniversary? An important birthday? Or maybe there's a baby on the way? Jewelry is a great gift for any occasion. And at Shane Company, we have fine jewelry in every price range. Here's an idea. Why not give some beautiful stud earrings? In addition to diamond studs, we have over a dozen colors of sapphires. 3 shades of blue, white, black, pink, green, and more. No one has sapphires as vibrant as ours, and our diamonds are the most brilliant. From gorgeous tennis bracelets to stunning 3-stone rings, you'll see the difference. We have fine jewelry you can personalize too. Get it engraved, add a birthstone, or choose a meaningful charm. For the guys, check out our gold chains, stylish bracelets, and unique rings. Celebrate life's special moments with a gift from Shane Company, tied with a burgundy bow and ready to give.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Worried about what you're breathing in? With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the Mark Cox Morning Show.
Download the Odyssey app to discover hundreds of new exclusive music stations. Available now. For music fans, by music fans.
Yeah, it's over.
Music stations specific to your taste. Now available through the Odyssey app. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by the Loading Dock, with a unique and beautiful ice skating rink to enjoy this time of year. Go to GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not a married sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Anytime there's a carve out, you eat the whole turkey. There's nothing left.
because it comes back and forth. So you want things that will be sustainable. That's what you're looking for. So that common sense commonality, but if I just believe that it's bedrock of democracy is voting, and we have to do what we can in order to preserve that. But let's just see. The conversations are still ongoing. I've been talking to everybody. We've been having good conversations since we left 2 weeks ago.
There's Joe Manchin, Senator Joe Manchin. Maybe at this point in time, America's senator. Can I name him that? Do I even want to claim it? I mean, he's still a Democrat. Are we okay with that?
For right now, I mean, if he's saving America, he's saving America. So that
is
makes
Kirsten Sinema going, hello, hi, me, look at me. Not really.
I don't think so.
Her clothes are, that's for sure. Which is one of the reasons why I love her, because she does what she does. Welcome into the Annie Frey Show. Excited to have you here. This is a really exciting Tuesday here for us on the show. We got a great lineup of guests for you. Congressman Rodney Davis is going to be with us in about 15 minutes or so, and he is going to talk to us about that sham partisan January 6th committee. That's the words that were put out by the congressional Republicans who were speaking on this, calling it a sham. And he, along with Elise Stefanik and Jim Jordan and Kevin McCarthy, are calling out the committee for what it is, which is just a partisan sham. That's what it is. And they're talking about their angle of it. And Congressman Davis is going to come talk to us about what the GOP is doing kind of in the wake while the sham partisan committee thing happens. And I'm sure there'll be lots of pomp and circumstance. As far as we don't have a national holiday and so that everybody can have mandated observations of whatever they're going to do. Have you heard?
What, January 6th?
What's happening? I don't even know, because I've just been like, I don't want
The only thing that I heard, and I kind of casually mentioned this yesterday because I said I didn't really want to carry it, but I heard that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are supposed to speak on it.
I'm sure that will be unifying.
Right. Just bring everybody together by bashing half the country.
Just like how Biden said last January when he became president that he was going to be that guy. So I'm sure that it took a year, but that'd be good.
Yeah.
So they're going to speak?
That's what I heard. I haven't heard much more than that, but I'm sure there will be all sorts of press conferences and stuff like that. And like you said, is it a national holiday? I think if we gave Democrats enough time in office, it would be.
What's your reaction? I mean, let me give mine first so I don't put you on the spot, because I didn't ask you about that ahead of time. But when I think back about January 6th, I'm sad about it. And I talked about this, I don't know if it was, I don't remember when I last talked about it. It was recently. I've only been here one day since Christmas. January 6th was Trump's day to speak to a contingent of America, a large contingent of America, who was very sad and very disenchanted by the process and the results and the coverage and just the whole kit and caboodle that led up to that day. It wasn't, that day was important. People kind of don't really include this in the conversation. That was when they were going to certify the vote. So January 6th was D-Day. And the suggestion that we were going to get Vice President Pence to not certify the vote or whatever, I don't believe that he had the authority to do what people were asking him to do. I consistently, on the air, did not think that was going to be a productive process to go through. And my opinion was always, because at that point we had a lot of questions. There were a lot of lawsuits out there. We had a lot of things surrounding the conclusion of the election that made us all raise our eyebrows. We have conclusion to many of those things. The lawsuits that did not go anywhere. Still, a lot of people have a lot of questions. My problem has always been with what happened, how much advantage was taken of the system in the wake of changing election procedures because of COVID. And they did many of those things in ways that are not challengeable. And it was it is a pandemic and so on and so forth. I'm not here to relitigate that right now. I don't think that Donald Trump should take over the presidency right now. He can certainly run in 2024, and I think he has a very good chance of winning in 2024 if he were to do so, especially if Biden decides he wants to give it another go. But on January 6th, there was a huge portion of the United States of America that was very sad, very upset. I will take you back to 2016 when Hillary Clinton lost. Same thing, different people. There is a great sadness when you pour yourself into something and you lose. Regardless of the merits, because you can go back to the 2016 election and you can listen to clips over and over again of Hillary Clinton explaining why the election results were not fair, were not accurate. She said it. You can go to Georgia and you can pay attention to the governor race there, where Stacey Abrams still says that that election was not fair. She has not conceded. This is not an uncommon thing for a side to lose an election, to not come out on top, and to be very rightfully emotional about it. You know why they're emotional about it? Because they care. They are emotional about it because they have invested themselves in the outcome of it. They believe in it. It is passion for them, and that's a good thing. But just like anything else, your emotions combined with your actions can make a good thing turn bad. And that's what happened for a select few people who showed up in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, entirely misbehaved. And it does not take much of a Google search or a DuckDuckGo search, whichever is your preference. It does not take much to look and find so many of those people who were there to support the president, to support their movement, and see them pleading with the people who were going towards the Capitol saying, don't do this, stop it, don't go there, don't give them what they want, respect the police officers. There were many, many, many good people there who were begging for the right thing to be done. And there were people there who didn't do the right thing. I interviewed Rodney Davis on this show a week and a half or so after January 6th. And he told us then that he had been briefed before January 6th on threats that were known going into this moment that were not acted upon, that the Capitol Police were requested to, increase their security, and Nancy Pelosi wasn't willing to provide that. There are a lot of questions that surround what happened on January 6th. And if we had a commission that was set forth to actually look into what January 6th was, how it happened, who was involved, who might have influenced it, if we had a commission that was set forth to investigate that, its goal was not to create an entire 2022 years worth of campaign ads out of the result of that commission. That would mean that that commission was actually serving you. That you were the focus of what that commission is looking to seek, to protect the country that you are in charge of. And the person next to you in the car, and the person who sits at the cubicle next to you at the office, and the people who live in the house next door to the one you're sitting in right now. You guys are the important ones. It's not party. It's not the Democrat Party. It's not the Republican Party. It's the Republic. If you can keep it, that's what's important. And you and I both know that there are not politicians in Washington, D.C. right now who are on that commission who care about you. They care about themselves. They care about their legacy. They care about their party. And they care about all of those things more than they care about you. Raise your hand if you want to see another January 6th storming. I'm not going to say it's an insurrection, but they did break into the Capitol. And it was inappropriate. And if you were there, or let me phrase it this way, if you knew your kid was in the building that day, you'd have been scared for him. So if you have a political lean as to how you feel about the movement and what took place, think about if your kid would have been in there that day. You'd have been scared for him. We have got to get back to the place where we move away from these political shams, these commissions that are using our money. We're paying for this. Isn't that make you want to bash your head in the wall? We are paying for this. The money that you're not using to feed your kids or grandkids right now is paying for this crap. Can you believe that? Think about that for a second. Go take a look right now at your pay stub. Go look at your last pay stub in December. You'll get to see the biggest, fattest number in the federal income tax column that's going to piss you off. It's paying for this. What is it? How are they serving you? Their only purpose is to serve you. And you're the last thought on their mind. It's disgusting. Whatever the January 6th commission decides to vomit out onto the TV screens and into your earbuds or whatever it is, however you consume this, whatever they decide to put in front of you, it's filth. Because it's not for the purpose of what government is supposed to be for in this country, for you. And it's everywhere. We saw 2 impeachments that were exactly the same thing. We've seen politicized Supreme Court justice hearings where you look with your jaw. I mean, you could not write a better reality TV script. That sounds ironic, but it's true. You could not write a better reality TV script than what we saw during the Carafano hearing. I mean, that stuff is crazy. If you wrote it, people would say that's not realistic. They wouldn't believe it. January 6th is upon us. It's 2 days away. There will be words. Maybe we'll hear some more of Biden talking about unity. Maybe we'll hear some more of, talking about how we've got to all come together. But I need action, no more words. I need to see people leading in that way. And I don't need to be preached at anymore. Because listen, I am not an insurrectionist. I am a conservative. I am a Republican. I am, in fact, a Trump voter and would vote for him again if he ran again. None of those things make me a bad person. If you think they do, totally you're right to believe that. But I'm not a bad person. And if you are the opposite of all those things, that doesn't make you a bad person. And I'm totally okay with that. I'm done looking to political leaders preaching at us as to how we are to act and not act and how we're to feel guilty about who we are because of, honestly, we have politicians telling us that we should feel guilty because of our skin color. That's legitimately where we are in this whole thing. You and I know people who are not like us, and we're just okay with them. We're fine with them. I'm done with the politicians preaching at us. And in my opinion, January 6th, whatever we put together and whatever is served up to the country is going to be preachy. And it's not going to be listening. They're not going to hear you. And you are in charge of them. So let's move forward and learn to treat each other with the kindness that we do every day. You don't need me to tell you to do that. We get along just fine. We can see the things that affect our bottom line on a regular basis. And as a practice, while we go to break here and we listen to Congressman Rodney Davis in a minute, as he comes and talks to us about what the Republican Party is trying to do in the face of this partisan sham committee that's going to be revealing what they've come up with in January 6th. Go take a look at that last paycheck that you got in the end of the year. Go look at what you're paying in taxes and remind yourself you're paying for all this crap. Vote accordingly. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie. I'm not feeling too good myself. Yes, feeling all right. 97.1 FM Talk. Uncensored discussion that's free in more ways than one. This is where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. Right here, right now.
Want to do something fun while helping a local charity? Well, here's your chance with Friesen for Funds. On Saturday, January 8th, join friends and fellow community members for a jump in the pond at Glazebrook Park in Godfrey, Illinois. We'll be out there from 10 a.m. to noon. You can visit coldengodfrey.com to register. For $25, you'll receive a cool t-shirt and an entry to the charity of your choice. Mayor McCormick will draw one lucky winner at the end of the event. The more people who register for a charity, the more likely it is to win. So if you're a charity, school, or sports organization, make sure to tell as many people as you can to get registered. Don't worry, you don't have to jump in. You can join us for donuts from Mr. Donut Coffee, Sugar's Frozen Custard Coffee Cart, and hot cocoa from the Salvation Army. Again, it's January 8th at Glazebrook Park in Godfrey, Illinois from 10 a.m. to noon. Register today on Facebook at Friesen for Funds with a $sign or visit coldingodfrey.com.
So you're going to want to make sure that you're heating your home safely this winter. And if you don't know how you could be heating your home unsafely, that's usually one of those things that you find out the hard way. Don't find it out the hard way. Call Air Comfort Service and have your heating system checked up by the best in the business. If you are aware of how cold and snowy this winter has been predicted to be, get in your comfort zone early, not when it's too late. Had a relative who just had their heat go out momentarily just yesterday, and it was cold outside. Fortunately, they got it turned back on. But you need to make sure that everything's running in ship shape. Air Comfort Service can come out and do a heating system check for you. Call them at 314-513-0091. You can put this phone number in your phone right now and save it for another time when you can make the call. But Air Comfort Service has been in my home. They are very good at what they do. They are kind, they are affordable, and they are waiting for you to reach out. Tell them you heard about them on the Annie Frey Show. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
What are your 2022 business goals? Simplified IT? More security? Dell Technologies has the expertise to help you, from transforming your digital workspaces to providing comprehensive end-to-end IT solutions. Get high-performance computers featuring Windows 11 Pro with powerful hardware-based security and savings up to 45% during Dell's New Year event sale. Get special financing through Dell Financial Services. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents.
And Doug. Don't you just love the smell of old books? Shh, this is a library. Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance So You Only Pay for What You Need. I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction. He really does devour literature. Please leave. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Never made it as a wise man. I couldn't cut it as a poor man stealing. Tired of living like a blind man. I'm sick aside without a sense of feeling. And this is how you remind me. This is how you remind me of what I really am. This is how you remind me of what I really am.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thank you for being here on this Tuesday afternoon. We are grateful for you. We always appreciate when you choose to spend your time with us. We know it's a choice, and we're grateful for it. A reminder that you can stream us live on the Odyssey app. 97.1 FM Talk is on there. Anywhere you go, take us with you. Find the Annie Frey Show podcast there as well. It is Tuesday, January 4th. We're a couple days away from January 6th. And I'm excited to welcome our next guest on here. Congressman Rodney Davis is here with us. Congressman, thank you so much for your time today. It's good to talk to you.
Hey, great to talk with you, Annie. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Now, I'm looking at this, the January 6th committee. I assume they're going to reveal their findings, whatever those might be. But I'm seeing from a lot of House Republicans right now looking at how the commission was assembled, put together, and then the process with which they have gone through. It doesn't really seem, Congressman, to represent me as, a constituent of these people who are supposed to represent us there in Congress. What is this commission going to find and tell us, and how are they solving this problem?
Well, they're not doing anything to solve the problem. This is an issue that the commission, it's actually a select committee, not a commission. And unfortunately, it's become such a partisan sideshow. We knew it was going to be like this when Speaker Pelosi decided not to seat 2 members. All of us who were chosen to serve on that select committee said this is unfair, going to be a circus, and that's exactly what it is. And right now, Annie, the biggest question that we have yet to have answered a year since January 6th happened, and I'm the lead Republican on the Committee of Oversight for Capitol Security. Speaker Pelosi has demanded it with this select committee, has demanded and gotten voluntarily thousands of communications from people who no longer work in government. We can't even get communications from her own appointed sergeant at arms leading up to January 6th. What is she hiding?
Yeah, that's a good question. And if you were going to be investigating everything that took place, Nancy Pelosi had a specific responsibility leading into January 6th. Did she know that there were threats? Could she have done anything to act?
Well, you cut out on me on that last part. But,
well, I'll just repeat my question. Nancy Pelosi being the Speaker of the House, it was an important moment of time. The certification of the votes was going to be done that day, and there was a lot of anticipation about maybe if that was even going to happen, even if that was possible or not. But would she have been aware of any threats? Is there anything she could have done possibly to prevent?
Absolutely. We've seen communications from the Capitol Police. We've seen communications in Inspector General's reports from the architect of the Capitol. And you're the Sergeant at Arms. Remember, the Capitol Police structure is actually it's governed by the Capitol Police Board. That's the House Sergeant at Arms, the Pelosi appointee. It's the Senate Sergeant at Arms, the McConnell appointee, who Mitch McConnell has turned over every bit of communications from that office to his own Senate committees. And it's the architect of the Capitol. The chief can't make any security decisions on his or her own. And that's where we need to see these communications, because I believe you're going to see a lot of communications between the Speaker and the House Sergeant at Arms in regards to removing bike racks as the architect was instructed. These are the types of things that we've got to see.
Yeah. And you would think, if the roles were reversed, if the parties were reversed, we all know how different this would be. I look at, you said it was a select committee, not a commission. If I look at this select committee and I think that their goal is to prevent this from ever happening again, what do you expect to hear from them? And how is it just going to be one political side bad and, basically Trump bad and it's his fault, and then they're going to move on with their merry way? What are they going to tell us?
I think you're absolutely right. That's exactly what they're going to do. It's going to be one of those partisan oppo dumps, it's completely partisan, going after the former president, anybody who may have worked for the former president. We're not going to get to the bottom of this. And frankly, my concern has always been figuring out why the Capitol was so unprepared. That's my job with my committee that I'm the lead Republican on. And not getting this information is very frustrating to me. It should be very frustrating to the American people, too.
Yeah, it is. I speak as one. U.S. Representative for the 13th District of Illinois, my congressman as well, Rodney Davis, on with us right now. I look at how divided we are as a country and how polarized everything is. That January 6th might have been the flashpoint of that. We had, maybe 15 days, about 15 days later, then President Biden speaking at his inauguration. It is a speech pretty much wholly dedicated to saying we're now going to enter the era of unity and just putting away our fighting words and working towards progress in a unifying way that involves everybody. A year later, are we less polarized than we were on January 6th of 2021?
No, we are more polarized than we were on January 6th. And President Biden has a lot to do with that. Unfortunately, instead of addressing the major issues to the American people, he and his team have been continuing to just do what they can to play partisan games. Remember, we've got inflation and an inflationary crisis that the Biden administration has yet to address. We've got a border crisis that the Biden administration acts like it doesn't even exist. And we've got a violent crime crisis in this country that we haven't seen in decades. These are the types of problems that the Biden administration is turning their head to, only to support and play the political games that Speaker Pelosi's playing with this sham select committee.
So Speaker Pelosi, I mean, it's 2022. We've heard people suggest here on our show that she might not even be running again. There's chatter right now about the potential for a primary for Joe Biden if he were to run again in 2024. But, if you win your reelection, if the Republicans take as many seats in the House and potentially several in the Senate, you'll be able to stop a lot of this overspending and a lot of these policies that the Biden administration has put forth in the last 2 years. What kind of actual progress can a Republican majority coming in November 2022 actually affect for the country right away? Anything?
Absolutely, we can. Number one, we can stop this insanity of spending trillions that leads to more and more inflationary pressures. That's number one. Number two, we can exercise our oversight responsibility. Remember, I will get those communications that Speaker Pelosi is hiding from us right now. And if there's anybody that works in those offices or for the Speaker that destroys that information, I will make sure they are subpoenaed and I will make sure they are held criminally accountable for those actions. They've been put on notice. That's what will happen when I am the chairman of the House Administration Committee, when Kevin McCarthy is Speaker of the House and we take over.
Yeah. So the shelf life of what she's hiding right now, if the Republicans take the majority and have the ability to do in a lot of investigation, which honestly is what all the Democrats in the majority did for the end of Trump's administration, we can do that and get to the bottom of what the Democrats who are in charge, or anybody who is in charge, regardless of party, if they were withholding stuff, you can expose that after you've taken the majority.
Absolutely. And we have put them on notice that we want this information. We will get this information that they are hiding from us. But the American people, your listeners, should ask themselves, what is Speaker Pelosi hiding? Why will she not share the communications leading up to January 6th with the top law enforcement official in the House of Representatives, her own appointee, the Sergeant at Arms? And remember, there's conflicting testimony that was given in the Senate investigation that went through their regular committee process, not this sham select committee. The chief of police at the time said he requested the National Guard. The Sergeant at Arms said he didn't. The Sergeant at Arms was asked to produce those communications to prove that he's not lying. And those communications were denied by the Speaker's own general counsel, another political appointee of the Speaker. What is she hiding and why? And when we take the majority, when I am the chairman of the House Admin Committee, I will get those answers.
That's a good promise to the American people. Congressman Rodney Davis with us right now, Illinois' 13th district, right across the river. Let me ask you a little bit, shift gears a little bit, Rodney, and talk about the state of Illinois, because the nation is federally on their knees needing some change and some common sense, some sensibility. But the state of Illinois is maybe a few years ahead of them in that need. There's a huge opportunity for the state of Illinois to recalibrate how they do business with the people who they send to Springfield and into the governor's mansion. What's your hope and realistic prediction of how Illinois could wind up here as we move through 2022?
Well, we've got to take the governor's mansion back from Governor J.B. Pritzker. He's absolutely terrible. He's terrible at his job. He's terrible with COVID response. He's allowing schools to be shut down when kids, as we know, are less affected by any dangerous COVID infection without comorbidities or underlying conditions. They need to be in school because we have a learning crisis in our state and a learning crisis in this country. I think we can win the governor's race. I think we'll win Republican races up and down the ticket. And I certainly hope, and I'm going to do everything I can to increase the number of Republicans who are in, I think, the number of Republicans who are in Congress coming from Illinois and in the state House and state Senate.
Yeah, it's a worthy endeavor. I'm curious, real quick, what if you're talking to those Illinoisans who are right across the river from where I'm sitting right now, and maybe they're not going to run for Congress, or maybe they're not going to run to be in the General Assembly in the state or governor. What's the most effective thing that they can do to help those who are running win those races? Seems like Congressman, are you still there? I think we've been disconnected from the congressman. We'll reconnect with him soon to talk about that. He gave us a lot of stuff there, and I appreciate Congressman Davis coming on here. He is right. When you consider how much opportunity is in front of Republicans in the United States Congress, it is significant. When you consider how much potential exists for Republicans in the state of Illinois, it's immense. I mean, this is a very exciting moment in time. I will tell you, find your county Republican organization, ask them about being a precinct committeeman, ask them about how you can get involved knocking doors, making phone calls, helping with fundraisers. A lot of times what's needed is a few volunteer hours. If you don't have the dollars that you want to spend on it, use your time. It is as valuable as your money. Let's take a quick break. Wiggins America. When we come back here on the Annie Frey Show, don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
This is how you remind me of what I really am. It's not like you.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Frank Cusimano.
Ryan O'Reilly has said it best. If you are vaccinated and you have no symptoms, then you shouldn't be tested every day. If they keep doing this, we're just not going to see professional sport.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Tom and Shirley were shocked when they realized that their retirement income wouldn't come close to letting them do everything they wanted to do. They did have plenty of equity in their home, so they checked out a reverse mortgage. But the idea of taking on mounting debt and so much red tape, no thank you. That's when their financial advisor told them about TrueHold. When they compared TrueHold to a reverse mortgage, the advantages were clear. While both let you stay in your home, the huge difference was money. A reverse mortgage would pay them only a fraction of their home's total value, while TrueHold paid them 100% of their home value minus a small fee. Bottom line, TrueHold paid twice the cash as a reverse mortgage, and they could stay in their homes renting as long as they wished. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com and see how easy they make getting 100% of your home's value within 30 days. That's 1-855-300-9993. Or go to TrueHold.com.
Hi, this is Ken. And Lori Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
If you're retiring soon, join us Saturday at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
How's your mental health? I'm listening with Dan Reynolds from Imagine Dragons.
Yeah, I don't think there's an age that's too early because really, if you take away the word therapy, what's happening is, hey, let's communicate with other people. Let's communicate what you're feeling. It's just communication skills. So it's like basically you're just saying, hey, there might be some conversation that you can have with X person that's going to help you. And because it helps you to evolve as a human.
At imlistening.org.
The med spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the med spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
Hi, this is Curtis Barks. I am the owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair, here to tell you about our touchless automotive service. If you're experiencing the constant struggles of having the kids home from school or just want more of that family time where you can listen to them teach you about what they do every day, we provide touchless automotive service, return the vehicle to you clean and ready to go in the comfort of your own home. Check us out online at CompleteAB.com for more information. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the car.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get your furnace ready for cold weather with a heating system check included with all maintenance plans from Air Comfort Service. Maintenance plans start at $15 per month. For more details, get in your comfort zone at aircomfortservice.com.
Up-to-the-minute traffic reports, so you don't have to keep looking at your phone. Dependable traffic on 97.1 FM Talk. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook, The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
To said if I was richer, I'd still be richer. And although there's pain in my chest, I still wish you the best. So God forget you. Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't afford a Ferrari, but that don't mean I can't get you there. I guess he's an Xbox and I'm more Atari. But the way you play your game ain't fair. I picture the fool that falls in love with you. Oh, she's an old well, just don't you know. Ooh, I've got some news
Sorry to say, you guys ready to see this house?
Yes.
You guys know what to say, say it with.
Is it the Titanic music in the background? Did this have to be 35 seconds?
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! You never realize how
35
melodramatic it is, though, until you just listen to it with no visual.
That's how I feel about Wiggins America.
Yeah, that's the way St. Louis feels about Wiggins America. The segment, not the show. People love the show.
What show? When is the show?
Oh, the show?
What show?
Since you asked, it's Saturday mornings from 6 to 8 a.m., not p.m. So you got to get up early. And it's great. It's not melodramatic at all.
My favorite part about this intro is when they say, hey.
Hey.
What are you thinking about?
We were fading out. So are you wondering why I played that crazy clip coming into this segment?
I am.
Well, I'm glad that you asked and are so interested, because I had some hard-hitting news and I thought, no, this stuff, this is I've been so fascinated with this story. I said, we got to do a break.
Should we
I got to
talk
do this.
about home renovation shows or an insurrection?
I was going to do inflation, but
Same.
I'm doing an article on that, so I figured I'll just wait because I'm gonna have loaded data.
I'm gonna do an article
sometime this week because I'm doing a lot of research on international inflation as it compares to U.S. inflation.
How's the dollar doing?
Not
good.
It's not good doing good compared to the dollar where we should be, but compared to the rest of the world, it's actually doing okay, which is a surprise why Bitcoin and things aren't doing better than they are doing. Anyway, long story short, I stumbled upon this story. Are you guys home renovation fans, the shows, HGTV, all the stuff?
Here's the thing, and I've said this before, but maybe it bears repeating. I don't have time to watch those shows right now. If I had time, I might watch them.
Did you
ever?
ever?
No.
But when you had time, before kids, the stuff's existed for a long time.
I had no money and had no cable, so I had no opportunity. Maybe This Old House on PBS.
Oh man, wow!
Mm-hmm.
You were really poor.
But that was legit.
Mm-hmm. Takes one to know one, Ryan.
It sure does. I was hoping you'd say
So
that.
just stick with it, Ryan, and
See,
you
this
can
is
own
the
an
type
air
of thing-
fryer.
Josh, this is the type of thing that people hear me say, and they're like, "Why are you so mean to Ryan?" I'm like, it's his joke.
It's my joke.
It's his.
I just put it onto a platter
I just
for
did
you.
this for him. And if you were in the studio, you'd see this goofy smile that he's got. He's like, "Here you go. I'm setting you right up. You're gonna take a swing at it. There she goes." It's like a thing.
Now, if next time you don't hear us talk about that, definitely do send those messages in, though.
Oh, they send them.
Good.
I'm still convinced that half of them are from you.
They are. Yeah, I spell names wrong
We get
every
done
time.
with Wiggins America, and then he just goes back to his desk and emails Sandy Frey's Facebook
Yeah.
page.
My name is Shirley. Shirley Wergens or Wergens.
That's your mom.
Yeah, I know.
Which is
That's
also
my
not a
actual
joke.
mom.
That's actually
I thought
his
your mom was Rip Van Wiggins.
No, man, this is mean. You guys are now making fun of my mom.
Oh, here
Send
we
all of
go.
your complaint emails to Annie, please.
I'm not mean.
Okay, so this is a fascinating story because Yahoo News, it doesn't sound like anybody likes these shows. I've been forced into these shows.
My point is that I'm not opposed to them. I know about them.
Everybody knows
I'm
about
not like
them. Yeah.
steeped in them.
Yeah. Well, I unfortunately from about 2008 to about 2012, that's all my wife would ever watch.
You said maybe in this segment that you and your wife have a major relationship issue about the TV that you choose to watch. That you have like your Venn diagram
doesn't cross much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it crosses on thrillers. That's about it. So if you can find a good thriller movie, send it my way. We'll watch it together and you'll save my marriage.
Save his marriage. Send him an air fryer.
Yeah, and so also send me an air fryer and a golden doodle.
Recipes for relationship success.
Ryan,
Okay.
what are you going to cook in the air fryer? Because I know you're not going to cook the golden doodle.
No. That's morbid and gross, Brad. I didn't even come close to suggesting that. Please send all complaints to Annie Fry about.
They don't need to come to me. Go to send them to Brad.
No,
at
don't worry
Range
about
Brad
it.
on Twitter.
Yeah,
Annie's much easier to find.
Oh.
Okay, so those shows, they drove me crazy because they were always on. If it was Christmas time, especially, you had time off. We were at her parents. She was watching that.
Here's what I don't like about him. He works as a middle school teacher. She works as a stay-at-home mom for their 6 kids. Budget $750,000.
Isn't
I'm
it
like,
amazing?
who did they rob?
That's not. That could
That's
not
not
be
their
true.
money.
That's a scandal I'd like to unfold on a different day. This is a different one because that drives me crazy too. Oh, you're going to buy a house in the Hamptons and you're a school teacher. Okay, I'm a dental hygienist and I want to buy a house on an island. That's
I
great.
want to buy the island.
Yeah, I'm going to buy the island.
Island shoppers.
Right. Yeah. The voiceover lady.
Teachers who want their own islands.
Yes.
And
exactly.
again, just to clarify for these emails too, all 3 of us are married to teachers. We make fun of the income because it is our income.
Yes, absolutely.
We know what we're talking about.
Yes, please send all complaints to Annie Fry.
No,
on these shows that somebody put together from Yahoo News a list of people who I don't know if they found them online or they opened up like an open forum for it. A bunch of people who were on home renovation shows. Their house, their backyard, whatever it was on a show.
Okay.
And they didn't care what show. A lot of people didn't specify the show, but some people did. And they said the question was, what happens after the cameras leave?
It's probably
not great.
It's not good.
Most of them said, look, we knew this going into it. And I don't want to be unfair because there's a lot of really negative things on these things. Overall, it seems like most of what happens is the people come in, they do improve the overall value either of your house or your room or your yard or whatever
Property
the show's
taxes
about.
go up.
Oh, let me get to that. That's where I was going with this. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Or
Because
segue.
that's the point, is that a lot of these shows, they say they put it together with, in their words, staples and tape, get the shot. And a lot of times it's a contractor doing the work, and then they bring in a volunteer at the end to like put in the last couple nails and go, whoa, what a hard day that was. We barely made it in time. And it's all fake, at least according to the show. You know, it depends. Some shows seem more real than others. One of them that fared very badly was Property Brothers. A lot of people said that they, one of the
Because
complaints,
those guys are everywhere. They're
on
not.
HGTV.
No, they like do ads for. They do commercials. Like you see, don't you see them everywhere? I see them.
Yeah.
More in like the wild in the world.
Have you seen them personally?
No.
Okay.
There's 2 of them. The odds are better.
And which one did you see? If you did,
The left one.
the one with the one who's hoity-toity, or the one who's more of a working man?
I hope the working man. He's more my type.
Because they have distinct
Does he have
personalities.
Scruff? Does he have like? Is he got a little?
I don't remember. They looked so similar, but I remember that they
5
had
o'clock shadow.
characters, and I was always like, "This is so dumb." These guys.
But you did have a
so
favorite.
fake.
You had a favorite.
I did not care.
You had a favorite.
No, I did not.
You're
I did not like that
I hate
show.
these guys, but if I had to like one, I'll go with that one.
One of the shows that fared a little bit better though was Extreme Makeover, which is why I opened with that clip. Move That Bus.
Let's move that bus.
That wasn't HGTV. That was an
I've never
ABC
watched
show.
that show.
I didn't either. It was very inspirational. It was one that I think
Had Titanic music in the background.
Isn't that amazing?
That's
How
ominous.
melodramatic that was.
It's pretty dramatic.
So they said that show in particular was pretty good about treating people well. They didn't do things just for the camera and then walk away as much. They actually would, the show was based on blessing people who were in legitimately bad situations. It wasn't like everybody's a victim all the time. We're going to help everybody. They found people who were they seemed legit. Like one of them, the one I pulled that clip from was a woman whose father was a first responder. I think he was a police officer, had died. Well, he was the caretaker of the family. And so she didn't get the pension because she wasn't a wife. and the kids were they just didn't have any money. And that's where a lot of these families were. They
Do
were
they
just
pay for the house?
they would buy, I think, and build or renovate a completely new house for these people. And it was always really impressive. The houses were huge, really well done. Nobody really complained about the house itself in these complaints. What they said was over and over and over. And even apparently an intern from the show said, the problem is you're taking lower income families, you're putting them into a really nice house, super blessed for about a year.
And then the tax bill comes.
Then the tax bill comes.
So here's the thing, though. Are they taking advantage of these families for the sake of a TV show? Maybe, maybe not. But I can't imagine that there wasn't some signature somewhere that said this is what your financial obligation will be, ballpark. I mean, I live in Illinois. I know it's a ballpark every year. It changes all the time. But I hear a lot of people say that these things get done, property values go up, and then the price is so high or whatever. You got to kind of know that. And if you just want someone to swoop in and give you some awesome renovation for free and then expect it to be free forever, that's just really not how this works.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. It's just interesting that there's kind of a model there that didn't seem to be a long-term work for these families. I don't think the show was at fault for that, but there were other stories. I mean, this one, it doesn't say specifically the show, but it was the worst story of all. It was a backyard makeover show.
Okay.
They said they came in, did it super fast and cheap. And then for the reveal, oh, everything looks amazing. They took all the decorations out after the reveal. So it looked kind of okay afterwards.
So they staged the house.
There's a backyard. So they staged the backyard. They took all the stuff away after the reveal was done and said, well, that's not part of what you get to keep. And they said, well, okay, I guess we still got a nicer backyard. In general, though, they had dug a pond. Well, part of the reveal.
They took the water.
They all drank the water and they left.
Ours.
Was that the pump was attached to an extension cord that they just hid for the reveal. And it wasn't really well done. And so anytime it would rain, the pump would just short out.
Oh, no.
And it wouldn't work and it would overflow.
That's crappy work.
Well, then two weeks after, they started to smell the yard and they're like, man, this is getting bad. Well, in digging the pond in the backyard, they had also cracked the septic.
Oh, no.
So it ended up costing these people way more. And I guess contractually, the show was not responsible.
Oh, my gosh.
So there's a bunch of stories. It didn't say, that one didn't say, but it was some backyard makeover show.
Vicky on Facebook says, my best friend in California's daughter had her 55 Chevy done by Pimp My Ride. It is still awesome after 20 years. And FR on Annie Frey YouTube channel says, a friend of my wife was going to be on LA Inc. She got a huge tattoo on her shoulder and back and ended up not being on TV. She has regrets.
That's great. That means those two stories, at least the first one, turned out well. I think what I'm reading is probably the worst of the worst. Sure. For the most part, it seems like everybody would say, yeah, the job wasn't great. But a lot of people, the best people who had these things, they said the best situation was I didn't end up staying in the house. I made it into an Airbnb and I include pictures of the show for when people rent it. People love it. I've made a killing on it.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, it seemed really smart.
If a reputable reality TV show comes to the Wiggins house and says, we want to do your backyard or we want to redo your basement or whatever, are you entertaining the idea?
I think you go
especially
in,
as a TV guy.
I think you go in cautiously.
But you're entertaining the thought.
I'm entertaining it for sure.
Are you, Brad?
I'm entertaining it, but there'll be lawyers involved.
Probably not. As soon as you say that, they're like, nah, we need you.
Well, the other thing is that they all say, all of them across the board, they say all of them tell you, play up the dramatic stuff.
Yeah.
Cry more, and especially fight more. Get in fights with your spouse about what you like and what you don't
Congress.
like.
It's the exact same thing.
So it was an interesting article. I thought, let's do a segment on it.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
It is exactly how our nation is being run in our capital city.
Thank you.
Did you hear Rodney Davis's interview?
I did.
Dude,
right up until the end. Then I couldn't hear him anymore.
Because he disconnected. Thanks a lot for pointing that out. We're going to talk to Jim Carafano in the 1 o'clock hour and the CEO of GETTR, Jason Miller, joins us at 1:45-ish. You're going to want to be here to hear that. You can stream us on the Odyssey app or come watch us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel or streaming live right now. Annie Frey Show on GETTR. We'll be right back.
If your business has accounting problems, you probably have tax problems. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. Running a small business is tough, and it's no surprise that companies that don't keep good books often run into tax issues. If you don't fix your accounting problems, you could be doomed to land in the same tax pitfalls every year. Call the Land Story Law Firm today. I can help you get out of tax trouble and stay out. If your small business doesn't have a CPA or accountant, I can help you find one. And if you already have one, I work closely with them to resolve your tax problems quickly. Make no mistake, if the numbers don't add up, the IRS will catch it. Fix your accounting and tax problems before they snowball with help from the Land Story Law Firm. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
So put it on your calendar, Tuesday, January 25th, 6:30 p.m. at the Front Neck Hilton. I am going to be there, and I would love to meet you. It is the Retirement Advisory Group Protecting Your Retirement educational event. We've done many of these. I have met so many of you who have come to meet Thomas Helbig and learn how he can help you protect your retirement, like he has helped so many other Annie Frey Show listeners. But I would love to meet you there. So reach out to 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494 and reserve your space. I am going to be there, but I'll also be there with my friends Mark Cox and Mark Reardon will both join me as well at this Thomas Helbig Retirement Advisory Group event. So it's at the Front Neck Hilton, super simple to get to, easy to sit and attend. It's not going to take up your whole evening. He's very respectful of your time, and I get to meet you, which is really exciting. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Changes to vaccine guidelines. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. The CDC today announcing changes related to the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine.
The FDA on Monday made 3 changes, and now CDC is giving a thumbs up to 2 of them, even before their panel of experts meeting, which is scheduled for tomorrow. Those changes are allowing Pfizer boosters to be given as early as 5 months following the initial rounds, as opposed to 6 months, and to give immunocompromised kids as young as 5 a third dose as part of their primary round. The FDA also authorized boosters for all kids ages 12 to 15, but CDC has yet to sign off.
Fox's Evan Brown. Health officials say more than 1 million people in the country were diagnosed with COVID-19 yesterday as demand for testing surges.
As COVID positivity rates top 26% in Florida, the state's Surgeon General, Dr. Joe Ladapo, questions the value of testing people who are asymptomatic or at low risk for complications.
We're going to be working to unwind the sort of testing psychology that our federal leadership has managed to, unfortunately, get most of the country in.
Other health experts argue it's important to track asymptomatic infections because they can still be passed on to high-risk individuals.
Fox's Jonathan Seri. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam says help is on the way to hundreds of motorists who spent a chilly night snowed in along Interstate 95 after tractor trailers lost control of the ice and snow, blocking traffic in Virginia. Democratic Virginia Senator Tim Kaine among those stranded.
There were an awful lot of people who were stranded right along me, whose cars slid off the road, who ran out of gas. Their cars were packed with kids or with seniors, or they had medical issues.
Some people were stranded on the highway for more than 20 hours. America's listening to Fox News.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Well, I just did anyways. Fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
Your life, your hopes, your passions. These things are none of our business. Your baby monitor research, if you're using too much diaper cream, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m., that's really none of our business. Because your life is private. And unlike other tech companies, we think your internet should be too. Aw, how old are they? That's none of our business either. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
45 for the high, partly to mostly sunny skies. This is the warmest of the week. Tonight, very windy, dry, cold front coming through. Partly cloudy skies, 25. Wednesday, partly sunny, windy, and very cold, 32. A light, dry powder snow late Wednesday night and Thursday. Some small accumulations are possible, but it is going to snow across St. Louis. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mark Cox here. We're taking the show live to the Missouri State Capitol this Wednesday, January 5th. We're going to speak with the governor, with House members and senators as they kick off the 2022 Missouri legislative session. Redistricting will be a big issue this year. Will legislators eliminate a Democratic district? Plus, bills to repeal the gas tax and ban mask mandates have already been filed. Don't miss the Mark Cox Morning Show live in Jeff City, January 5th, 5 to 9 a.m.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. That's 314-752-5000. So if you need some extra cash, looking for that one-of-a-kind piece, make Jewels on Hampton your first stop. Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills.
Selling your home's a huge deal. You want to sell it fast and for the highest price with zero hassles, right? Mark Cox here. That's why I always recommend Gloria Liu with GL International Realty and the Coldwell Banker Premier Group. Gloria continues to change the real estate game with multiple cash offers for her sellers. Above market bids, with multiple cash offers in less than 24 hours, and she makes the process so easy. Gloria eliminates the hassles with no showings while you pick the closing date. Check this out. Andrew wrote, Gloria sold my home quickly, above market value, to an all-cash buyer, no hassles, delays, or problems. With Gloria Liu, 2 things are always guaranteed: your home sale and your price. Call Gloria today and get your cash offer at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you have heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station as the financial expert for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend on 97.1 FM Talk. And in case you miss any of those shows, on his podcasts on Odyssey.com and search Safe Money 97.1. So call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through DH Hill Securities, LLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
The Odyssey app. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. The place for ideas. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by the Loading Dock, with a unique and beautiful ice skating rink to enjoy this time of year. Go to GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
2022 picking up right where 2021 left off here at the border, beginning with a border agent being shot at from Mexico on New Year's Day. Take a look at these photos given to us by a law enforcement source. You can see several bullet holes in the vehicle belonging to that border agent. This happened on New Year's Day in Roma, Texas, near Roma, Texas, about an hour away from us. We're told that agent was apprehending a migrant who had just crossed over when that gunfire came from across the river in Mexico.
That's a Fox News report. Our border agents are being fired upon. You got to kind of wonder, is there a point where maybe the crack in this massive issue that is taking place on our southern border breaks large enough for the administration to take notice? If it hasn't happened yet, is it possible it's going to happen in the future? Well, let's ask Jim Carafano, that leading expert in national security and foreign policy at Heritage Foundation. Jim, welcome back to the show. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. So you know the story about the boiling water and the frog, right? You put the frog in the water, and then you gradually put the thing up. The frog doesn't realize how hot it gets, and it boils. The frog dies, right? Well, it's an apocryphal story because, unless the frog is stupid, the frog's going to jump out of the water. But unfortunately, you have to have a brain as big as a frog, and we have to look at this in the White House. I don't think this administration changes course. I just think that their notion is we're just going to keep doing this because nobody can stop us. And even though the polling is bad and everything else, it's like America, like how many things can you hear? So there's two things which I think are potential game changers in 2022, which is the year that we are in presently. One is a terrorist attack. I think Afghanistan's just created this horrible situation. The terrorists are rebuilding their forces. They're going to come at us. They want to do another 9/11. Can you imagine after a major terrorist attack in the United States having an open border in this country? I can't. So that's one. That's a horrible way to get where we need to go. The other is we're going to have midterm elections. If we do have a different leadership in Congress through oversight and investigations and other things, even without being able to pass laws, you can put a lot of pressure on this administration to tighten up. And but absent that, I don't see how anything changes.
So, when I'm thinking about the federal government and what they have been willing to do, and obviously what they're not willing to do, I'm wondering, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, all bordering Mexico right now. Can these states do more than what they're doing right now just on their own? Is there more that they could do?
Well, the answer is yes. The ones that are inclined to do that, like Texas, are already doing that. The ones that are not, like California, won't. And of course, the problem is the illegal migration just flows around the hard spots, right? And actually, ironically, what we've seen is it doesn't matter where they get in or where they get dumped, but it appears, just looking at the data, that as illegal immigrants are dumped in the United States, they're moving to red states. For the simple reason, like everybody else, they want freedom, they want jobs.
Just like the liberals who live in California and Illinois.
I mean, just like the limousine liberals in New York that abandoned to have the ugly lifestyle in Florida. So do the illegal immigrants. So states need to do more, I think, and they're doing. And the ones that are doing stuff is great. I think that's important. But in the end, the federal government has to enforce federal laws. The states can't do that for them.
So walk me through I feel like I know the answer to this question, but maybe I don't. If somebody crosses the border right now in any one of these states, what happens? How does that process work if they're non-combative?
Normally, okay, if they turn themselves into the Border Patrol or they're picked up by the Border Patrol, normally what happens is they're one of two things. They'll either be shipped back, which is rare, right? You might be a criminal alien or something like that. But most of them, basically, they just put them on a plane and send them in the United States, and they give them an order to appear at some future point, which they may or may not ever do.
So you're just taking them at their word. We're taking the people who have come here illegally at their word that they'll obey the other laws that we have in this country.
Right. And even if they're, and we're not actually deporting anybody, so that's not really a serious deterrent. But even if we were, you have to realize the course of it's called catch and release, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the Trump guys did was catch and return. You get caught, you got sent back. Now look, if you gave a coyote $10,000 to let you walk across the border, and in 24 hours you got caught and sent back to your home country, you think twice about spending that $10,000 again. On the other hand, if you walk into the interior United States and you go through the immigration process, it will cost many tens of thousands of dollars to deport you, even if the government was serious about doing that. So the cost to the taxpayer of removing an illegal immigrant inside the country is astronomically higher. Now, having said that, if you don't remove illegal aliens that are present in the country, you're never going to end this problem. And the thing is right now, we have seen the global migration patterns restructure themselves to have consistently high levels of illegal immigration coming in through the U.S. southern border. Done. We are past that point. We are past the crisis point. We are in the chronic phase of large-scale illegal immigration in the United States from around the world. That's a fact. And it will only reverse when you secure the border and you systemically deport people from the United States so people get the message that living here illegally is not a free lunch. This is why, I said this on your show before, I think it's really true. The next person elected president of the United States is not just going to get elected with a mandate. He or she is going to get elected with a demand from the American people that they immediately fix this problem. So if you do not walk in the door as the next president of the United States with a plan on day one to secure the border and start deporting illegal immigrants in large number and enforce immigration laws, you, my friend, will be in trouble in your presidency in a New York minute.
So if Jim Carafano, apolitical Jim Carafano, is elected president with no party to attach to himself, and you are tasked with securing the border, and you're not, bending to political whims or political catchphrases, are you still building a wall? Are you? What are you all doing to effectively actually secure the southern border?
I'm going out and I am drafting Ken Cuccinelli, Tom Homan, and Mark Mogan, and Chad Wolf, and I'm saying, you guys come back and do exactly what you were doing before and do it faster and harder.
So we were doing it.
Yes, exactly.
That's so depressing. So we've got.
This is the easiest problem in the world to solve, right? When you've actually solved the problem before and you know exactly what to do. When people say, well, how could you fix this unsolvable problem? Just go back to doing what we were doing.
We have the solution. So go ahead.
No, it's like the person, you run a diet, you lose 50 pounds, you go off the diet, you stop exercising, you gain 50 pounds back. And then people ask, well, how could you look great. Look at you. What happened? And how could you ever lose that weight again? Do what you did before.
Wash, rinse, repeat. Jim Carafano with us right now, expert in national security and foreign policy at Heritage Foundation. When we talk, when we hear and we watch and we consume this conversation in the political landscape, one side of the aisle only wants to talk about the people who are fleeing where they're coming from to come to this great country, which is funny because in other conversations they talk about how crappy our country is, but I digress. These people coming over and you're treating them poorly. They try to make it a humanitarian crisis, but it's not just people who are coming across the southern border. There's criminals, there's terrorists, there are drugs, there is human trafficking. I mean, what is the full breadth of problem that exists when the border is as open as ours is right now?
There is nothing more inhumane, nothing, than the border policies we have now. More people die from opioid overdoses in the United States than die from way more. Not even close. That we are being swamped. There are enough opioids that come in this country to kill the entire country many times over. That's Biden. That's what you get with an open door policy. We have never had the criminals been more engulfed with money than they are now. All that's leading to human suffering and victimization. So we've never had a bigger humanitarian crisis on the border than we have today. And it's not just a humanitarian crisis. People care about the environment. The illegal border traffic is the most significant degradation of the environment on the border, whether it is the water tables or soil erosion or physical disruption, disrupting wildlife, you name your pet environmental problem. The greatest threat to them is illegal migration. So we're doing environmental damage, we're doing humanitarian catastrophe, it's a crime catastrophe, it's a public health catastrophe. Look, it's not just COVID. When you have a chronic millions of people crossing your border illegally every year, uncontrolled, when the next great pandemic breaks out, you basically will be the first country to die.
That's drastic and true. Is the border problem, we consider that a national security issue, but your expertise extends into foreign policy. When we're talking about all these other countries and regimes that may not really want what's best for the United States of America, is that foreign policy connected to our southern border problem?
Yeah, and first of all, we already talked about terrorism, because when you have a wide open border like we have now, it is the number one vector for getting a major terrorist threat in the United States, without question. But the other thing is last year we had a very significant crisis in Central Europe. So the Belarusians and the Russians got together, and they brought a large number of refugees from the Middle East, not even refugees, just people from the Middle East. And they dumped them on the Belarusian border, and they told them to walk into Western Europe through Poland and Ukraine, with the number one goal really to destabilize Western Europe with another flood of refugees. What's preventing people from doing that on our border? And the answer is nothing. So weaponizing migrant, we've seen it before. It was done in Syria, where they try to weaponize the movement of migrants to destabilize other regions. We are wide open to that threat as well.
Well, we got to keep our attention on it. That's why we have you on each week. Jim Carafano, Happy New Year. Great to talk to you again, and we always appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, we'll do it again next week. At JJ Carafano on Twitter. If you're on Twitter and you're not following him on Twitter, you should. I don't know if he's on GETTR yet. I'm going to have to go check that out. We're on GETTR right now, at Annie Frey Show. We've been on GETTR for some time. I joined pretty early on. I have somebody in my family who's a big Trump supporter, and he sent it to me like as soon as it was announced, because they thought this was going to be the new Trump platform. And then Trump didn't get on it. I told you yesterday what I think is going to happen there. But you can follow us at Annie Frey Show. You can watch the live stream there, but you can watch us on our YouTube channel and Rumble and Twitch and Twitter and Facebook, all the places. So please connect with us on your place of choice, place of choice. I do speak for a living, which may be unbelievable right now. We're going to take a quick break. President Biden, somebody else who speaks somewhat for a living, is speaking right now on the pandemic. We're going to dip into that. Yes, I know. He's the president of the United States, and he's speaking on an important issue. This is one of those times where I really love for you to come invite you into the live chat so you can listen along with us. We'll do that when we come back. And the CEO of GETTR, Jason Miller, the man himself, with us at 1:45. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The Mark Cox Morning Show will be live from Jefferson City this Wednesday for the start of the 2022 Missouri legislative session. We'll speak to the governor and key legislators to get the lowdown on the year ahead. That's Wednesday, 5 to 9 a.m. live from the Missouri State Capitol.
Men, have you been feeling tired, sluggish, low in energy? Do you feel like you just can't do the things you used to enjoy? Well, don't give up. You can take your life back again and regain the energy you had even 10 years ago. Call U.S. Men's Medical Center today. U.S. Men's Medical Center can help boost your lost energy level. After age 30, testosterone levels can drop 1 to 3% every year. If you're over 50, imagine the testosterone deficit that you're in, and it's not getting any better. U.S. Men's Medical Center can help you boost your mental health acuity, sex drive, and even your overall mood. And unlike other providers, U.S. Men's Medical Center accepts all insurance, including Medicare patients. And if you like, you can take your treatments from home. Visit usmensmedicalcenter.com. That's usmensmedicalcenter.com. Or call 636-244-5333. 636-244-5333. Call now for U.S. Men's Medical Center. You're losing time. Don't make that mistake. Get with U.S. Men's Medical Center today. 636-244-5333.
Home values have skyrocketed.
And Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low 1.875% rate.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With our low rates and your increased equity, you can make home improvements or pay off debt.
Plus, skip your next 2 mortgage payments. Call 314-567-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Landing, join my blues.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.952% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Home warranty. I know, right? Buying coverage for appliances, your heater and AC, etc., from a company that hopes you never ever have a claim or call. Let me introduce you to a real home warranty company, the kind that actually wants to help you. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Upkeep visit your home 4 times a year to maintain your appliances and equipment. You will never get a lack of maintenance denial because Upkeep does the maintenance. Also nice, Upkeep assigns you one point person to help you. You won't be passed around like an office hot potato, and you won't get subcontractors. Upkeep does all their work, so there's no blame game. Just experts helping you. Visit upkeepstl.com today and type in 971 for $100 off. Don't be denied. Instead, be relieved. Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. 636-387-7331.
Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep. Keep up your home with Upkeep, and you'll have a happy home.
5-minute cash offer on your house. Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com. KLAMEN Group.com. 314-946-9999. Local and family owned. We're going to buy your property direct in as-is condition. And we just rolled out the instant cash offer where you'll get an offer on your house in 5 minutes or less when you reach out to us. Find us online at ClaymanGroup.com for an instant cash offer now. KLAMEN Group.com. 946-9999. 314-946 all nines.
We've come a long, long way together, through the hard times and the good. I have to celebrate you, baby. I have to praise you like I should.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Just got done speaking with Jim Carafano. I just adore those conversations, and I appreciate his willingness to speak truth on these issues. If you've got concerns about the southern border, you need to hear what Jim Carafano has to say. If you missed it, the Annie Frey Show podcasts are available on the Odyssey app, or just Google Annie Frey Show podcast, and we are in a plethora of different places where you can get podcasts from. So the President Biden, was just speaking from Washington, D.C., and presumably making some comments that might affect our lives on COVID. We're just going to dip in here real quick and listen to what he had to say. Invite you to stream live with us right now on the Annie Frey YouTube channel or the Annie Frey Show Facebook page and comment along. Bear with us. Let's listen to what the president had to say.
Well, since we're more than 10 feet apart while we're speaking, we're going to take our masks off. And let me begin by saying good afternoon to my team. Good afternoon to the press, and good afternoon to anyone who may be listening. Well, I'm about to receive a briefing from our COVID-19 team. But before I begin, I know there's a concern and some considerable confusion about the rising cases. So let me provide a quick update and talk about 3 specific topics. And I'll give it to you straight, as I promised you I always would. We're going to see, as you all have been hearing, continued rise in cases. Omicron is very transmissible variant, but much different than anything we've seen before. But you can protect yourself. And you should protect yourself, quite frankly. Get vaccinated. Get boosted. There's plenty of booster shots. Wear a mask while you're in public. Because what we know is this. The impact from the rising cases depends on the effect on the person based on whether that person and what their vaccination status is. You can control how big an impact Omicron is going to have on your health if you get Omicron. You know, those are fully vaccinated, especially those with the booster shots. And by the way, we have booster shots for the whole nation, okay? You can still get COVID, but it's highly unlikely, very unlikely that you become seriously ill. And we're seeing COVID-19 cases among vaccinated in workplaces across America, including here at the White House. But if you're vaccinated and boosted, you are highly protected. You know, be concerned about Omicron, but don't be alarmed. But if you're unvaccinated, you have some reason to be alarmed. Many of you will, you'll experience severe illness in many cases if you get COVID-19, if you're not vaccinated. Some will die, needlessly die. Unvaccinated are taking up hospital beds and crowding emergency rooms and intensive care units. That's displacing other people who need access to those hospitals. So please, please, please get vaccinated now. You know, we've reduced the number of American adults without any shots from 90 million to about 35 million in the past 6 months. But there's still 35 million people not vaccinated. And let me be absolutely clear. We have in hand all the vaccines we need to get every American fully vaccinated, including the booster shot. So there's no excuse for anyone being unvaccinated. This continues to be a pandemic of the unvaccinated. So we got to make more progress. And for patients who still haven't gotten your kids vaccinated, please get them vaccinated. Look out for their interest here. It's the best way to protect them. And for parents with kids too young to be vaccinated, surround your kids with people who are vaccinated. And make sure you're masking in public so you don't get COVID and give it to your kids. Look, we have no reason to think at this point that Omicron is worse for children than previous variants. We know that our kids can be safe when in school, by the way. That's why I believe schools should remain open. You know, they have what they need because of the American Rescue Plan, where the first month we were in office, or second month, that I signed in March, we provided the states with $130 billion, with a B, $billion to specifically keep our students safe and schools open. Funding for ventilation systems in the schools, social distancing in classrooms, even larger classrooms, on buses and everything from bus drivers to buses, the actual bus. There are additional, in all this process, we also back then included an additional $10 billion for testing for schools. That money went out to the states, and the states and the school districts have spent this money well, many of them, but unfortunately, some haven't. So I encourage the states and school districts to use the funding that you still have to protect your children and keep the schools open. Countries across the world are seeing rising cases. Here in the United States, our team has been working around the clock during the holiday weeks. In the last 2 weeks, we have developed hundreds of military doctors and nurses to staff the hospitals in our states that are overrun and overworked because of unvaccinated COVID-19 patients primarily. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, is also working at our direction in every state on hospital capacity, including whether they need beds. I've directed FEMA to be ready to provide emergency hospital beds wherever and whenever they're needed. The federal government will be there. We've shipped nearly 2.4 million pieces of protective equipment to hospitals, from gowns to gloves. And we're doing whatever we can to protect communities from the surge of hospital cases that are likely to see from the unvaccinated population. Look, now let me address 3 specific updates before I get my full brief from my team. First, booster shots. I know, Dr. Fauci, I'm like an echo chamber here, okay? I know it. But repeating myself, but Dr. Fauci said it very clearly. Booster shots work. They significantly increase the protection. They provide the highest level of protection against Omicron. Americans, we've given out over 70 million booster shots. Importantly, 2 out of 3 eligible seniors have received their booster shots. Booster shots are free, they're safe, and available. Over 90,000 vaccination sites. Let me say that again. They're free, available, and at over 90,000 sites. We have added sites, added hours, added appointments, added walk-in capacity. We have booster shots for every American in the country. It's easier than ever to get a booster shot, and more importantly than ever it's been. Look, the FDA has also now authorized booster shots for children ages 12 to 15. So, with the final approval from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, young people, when that occurs, young people ages 12 to 15 will be able to get booster shots later this week. Second, on testing. I know this remains frustrating. Believe me, it's frustrating to me. But we're making improvements. In the last 2 weeks, we've stood up federal testing sites all over the country. We're adding more each and every day. Google, quote, COVID test near me. Go there, COVID test near me on Google to find the nearest site where you can get a test most often and free. Look, with more capacity for in-person tests, we should see waiting lines shortened and more appointments freed up. Look, if you want to test yourself at home, we have 3 options now. 1, drugstores and online websites are restocking. 2, so the more tests are available, we're going to continue to become available. Next week, our requirement that your insurance company reimburse you for at-home tests takes effect, so you don't have to get reimbursed. So if you're insured, you can buy the test and get paid for it. The second thing I want to mention is many states and local governments and healthcare providers are passing out free at-home tests that you can pick up. Just find out where they are. And finally, as I announced recently, the federal government is launching a website this month where you can get tests shipped to your home for free upon your request. The third point I'd like to speak about is on treatments. For those at high risk who do get COVID-19, we now have a new Pfizer pill that greatly reduces the risk of hospitalization and death. I'm pleased to say that on Christmas Eve, we shipped out the first batch of these pills that we purchased and received. And more will be shipped this week. They're already saving lives, but due to complex chemistry of the pills to make the pill, it takes months literally to make a pill. But production is in full swing. The United States has more pills than any other country in the world, and our supply is going to ramp up over the coming months as more of these pills are manufactured. Today, I'm directing my team to work with Pfizer to double our order from 10 million to 20 million treatment courses to be delivered in the months ahead. We may need even more. That's the estimate we need right now. We've already placed the largest order in the world. Now I'm doubling that order. These pills are going to dramatically decrease hospitalizations and deaths from COVID-19. They're a game changer and have the potential to dramatically alter the impact of COVID-19, the impact it's had on this country and our people. Look, let me conclude with a quick recap. If you are vaccinated and boosted, you may get COVID, but you are highly protected against severe illness. Schools can and should be open this winter. We have all the tools to keep kids safe. Unvaccinated kids are at risk, yet the vaccinated are going to have a way to protect them. Get vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, get boosted. Folks, I know we're all tired and frustrated about the pandemic. These coming weeks are going to be challenging. Please wear your mask in public to protect yourself and others. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through it together. We have the tools to protect people from severe illness due to Omicron if people choose to use the tools. We have the medicines coming along that can save so many lives and dramatically reduce the impact that COVID has had on our country. There's a lot of reason to be hopeful in 2020. But for God's sake, please take advantage of what's available. Please. You're going to save lives, maybe yours, maybe your child. Please take advantage of what we already have, okay?
President Biden from the White House commenting on the pandemic, saying that tests are on their way. What did he say? The tests are available, so they're going to become available. That's, I think, almost a direct quote. And if not, maybe. So testing, this is the summation. This is the update, folks. President Biden wants you to get tested, and he wants you to get the booster shot. And if you're not vaccinated, he wants you to get vaccinated. And that's the summary. That's about what he said.
That's essentially, yeah, that's what he said.
However, let me add in here that he said we have the resources and the tools to keep schools open. President Biden, would you tell one of your biggest donors of the teachers union this? Would you go tell Randy Weingarten to let her know that schools need to be open and then act accordingly? Yes, schools need to be open. And I got to tell you, any government official out there right now, regardless of your persuasion on how effective all of the measures that have been provided, that I do believe in many cases, the United States has accomplished a feat of great scientific success in the last year, considering what we're under, the pressure that we're under. Nobody cares about the safety and the health of my child more than I do, and more than my husband does. There is not a beating heart on this planet that cares more about the well-being of my child and of my husband's child than we do. So don't think for a second that you're going to try to get something through my thick skull and tell me how I need to take care of my kids. Please advise. Please suggest. Thank you for providing opportunities, options for us to consider in order to make sure that my children have choices that are mine to make when it comes to protecting their health. Sir, I have it from here. I had it from the beginning as well. We're going to talk to the CEO of GETTR when we come back. Jason Miller is with us, and I cannot wait to talk to you about the development taking place, a migration towards GETTR. I don't know that people are leaving Twitter yet, but there's something going on right now. You can feel it. And we're going to talk to Jason Miller about it when we come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show. The Mark Cox Morning Show.
The Mark Cox Morning Show will be live from Jefferson City this Wednesday for the start of the 2022 Missouri legislative session. We'll speak to the governor and key legislators. That's Wednesday, 5 to 9 a.m. live from the Missouri State Capitol.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical advancement that has helped thousands of men. The WAVE technology at Pineview Medical Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now, and not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces powerful and instant results in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. 314-530-7777.
Attention homeowners, if you're selling, I'm buying. This is Mike Robinson, Robank Properties, and I'm not like the other people you hear on the radio. They make offers loaded with contingencies like, I think I need my partner to see it, or we will need an inspection, or whatever. I call that monkey business. You want an offer straight up? Call me, Mike Robinson, Robank Properties, 314-283-0867. That's Robank Properties, 314-283-0867. 314-283-0867, or visit visit us online at robangproperties.com.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. I meet regularly with people who haven't filed tax returns in years. Did you know that if you have unfiled tax returns, you can be subject to jail time? That's right. The maximum penalty can be 1 year of jail. The maximum penalty can be 1 year of jail time for every year of unfiled returns. So liens, wage garnishments, and bank levies should be the least of your worries if you have unfiled returns. Instead, you should get straight with the IRS and file those returns as soon as possible. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm today and meet with me. Together, we can resolve your tax problems before it comes to a prison sentence. Don't worry about not having records or receipts. The Lance Drury Law Firm can help you find the information you need to get the returns prepared and filed. As an attorney, I am trained to put pieces of your tax puzzle together for you. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. Call attorney Lance Drury, 314-260-6120, or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality, water heater, and AeroSeal duct sealing services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
Information to keep you moving. Dependable traffic, mornings and afternoons with Sue Thomas. Driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company, the best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Sun coming up over New York City.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
School bus driver in a traffic jam.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Faces in a rearview mirror, looking at the promise of the promised land. One kid dreams of fame and fortune. One kid helps pay the rent. One could end up going to prison. One just might be president.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thank you for spending some of your afternoon here with us. Just got done listening to the president give us an update, which was really not much of an update. It was just a reassessment of what we've been doing so far, testing. He wants to get vaxxed. He wants to get it boosted. That's all really shocking to hear. A reminder, you can watch us. We are streaming the radio show live. It's really cool to be able to watch a radio show. And we are very excited to now be streaming at Annie Frey Show on GETTR. And if you haven't checked out GETTR yet, GETTR.com. Everybody else is doing it. The CEO of GETTR with us now, Jason Miller. Thank you, Jason, for the time today. You are one sought-after dude at this point in time. It's been a great weekend.
It's been a very good weekend. And in case you've been living under a rock or in a cave and you haven't seen the news, Joe Rogan has joined GETTR. And of course, this was immediately after Twitter kicking off Dr. Robert Malone and Marjorie Taylor Greene, the congresswoman from Georgia. Mm-hmm. And it made a whole bunch of news over the last couple of days. And on Sunday morning, to our surprise, Joe Rogan joined GETTR and announced on Twitter that he was going to GETTR as a backup, as he was seeing all these people getting canceled and deplatformed. And we are now, in the last 48 hours, we are now over 600,000 signups to GETTR. This has taken off like a rocket.
That is really amazing. Just one person's influence can drag that many people over to check something out that I'm sure many of those individuals who signed up that they had heard about GETTR, but maybe hadn't had the motivation yet. You know, I think there's some apprehension to put into place yet another social media platform. But Twitter is telling a lot of Americans right now, specifically, they don't want you there.
Exactly. And it's funny, it's a pretty intuitive insight there, because one of the things that we have is prior to Joe Rogan jumping on board, we're about 3.5 million users just since we launched on July 4th. But we know that we're up over 10 million downloads and installs of the app. Just like exactly like you said, a lot of people just hadn't gotten around to set up the account, or do I want to do this? And so we're finding for most of these 600,000 people that have come over, they'd already downloaded the app. They're like, oh, wait a minute, I have this. This is the app that's on on my phone. Rogan's on here. Other people are joining. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Robert Malone, Annie Frey. We got to go and sign up. And so it's been really exciting and just watching this thing take off, because I think what most people are realizing is this. It's a matter of when, not if, you're going to get sentenced to digital jail or be shadow banned or algorithmed or be told that your free speech doesn't count.
Yeah. And people are seeing that, it's not just on Twitter where you're encountering this. We've aired, news reports from different places on YouTube, and our YouTube channel gets a strike and gets shut down for a week over the course of time. You gotta tread really lightly out there, and GETTR is an alternative for people. How is GETTR, built differently for the person out there who wants to share a thought or involve themselves in a conversation?
Exactly. So what GETTR is it's the all-in-one free speech platform. And so if you support free speech and you oppose cancel culture, then we think you'd be a perfect fit to join us. Right now, I'd say that our two main competitors are really Twitter and Facebook. Much more kind of the short text posts. When I say short, meaning ours are longer than Twitter. It's 777 characters as opposed to 280 characters that are on Twitter. But when I say short, just relatively, you can read it in one sitting.
Sure.
But then we've also launched live streaming, which is something that the other platforms don't have anymore. And so you can go on and start broadcasting out whatever you want to talk about and do, and that's gotten a lot of attention. We're still in the beta testing phase, so it's starting to expand out. But starting next month, we're going to have our Vision platform, which will be a competitor to TikTok and Instagram Reels. So the short videos of up to a minute with music and the filters and all the fun stuff that as my 13-year-old tries to get me to do all those TikTok dances, and which I film miserably. So fortunately, her account's private. No one's ever going to see those until she decides to shame me. But then as we look to the freedom of expression, but here's where it gets really exciting. This summer, right around 4th of July or 1 year anniversary, we're going to launch GETTR Pay, which will be a 2-coin ecosystem, a stable coin and a fluctuating coin, to where we bring the marvels of the digital economy and cryptocurrency and blockchain to people who haven't been reached out to by some of these different companies, and show them here's how you can control your own financial destiny. And so it'll be the first time ever that a social media platform is also launching a aspect of cryptocurrency in an online marketplace. So we're going to make this really exciting, really fun for people in how we do it. But the reason for being, the reason why we're here is because there has to be a place for political free speech to be protected, where no one's going to come in and say, we don't like your opinion, so you're going to be judged differently or moderated differently than, say, a different user.
Yeah, we're speaking with the CEO of GETTR, Jason Miller, with us right now. You were also the former senior advisor to President Trump. I mean, to think that a former president is not allowed to be on the, premier platform that is like this, Twitter right now, is taking a voice out of the game. But you can see that the people who are working right now in government aren't really hurrying to get him back onto a platform like Twitter. Now we have another congresswoman who has been banned from it. I'm curious what has allowed GETTR to have the success it's had so far, where we've seen Parler, when that was being developed, we've seen a lot of providers, internet providers, Amazon and so on and so forth, who backed out of the project and kind of caused it to collapse at that moment in time. How is GETTR independent from those types of threats?
Yeah, great question. So where it really starts is we do have a moderation plan, and I'd even describe it as being robust and proactive, both from the AI component and from human moderators. And the reason for that is simple. You want a platform, if you're going to be able to protect political free speech, if you're going to allow people to come on and talk about their opposition to mandates, or talk about their concerns about election issues, or talk about what they think about what's going on with woke culture or cancel culture, you have to make sure that it's still an inviting and a friendly platform for people to be a part of. That's safe. Obviously, you might not like some of the opinions that are on there, and that's never the game that we're trying to play, but you have to make sure that there can't be doxing or people threatening illegal activity or racial or religious epithets. Those types of things are not allowed on GETTR. That's our terms of service, and we're not going to hesitate to enforce those. So we make sure that we do have a moderation plan. The challenge that I think Parler ran into, and again, Parler had that opportunity when when they really had that huge spike at the end of 2020 and beginning of 2021, is they relied on effectively community policing to do it. Well, here's the problem. You have a lot of bad actors who intentionally try to mess with your platform, whether it be ISIS or the CCP or the Russians. Look at that. The Russians come into their troll farms and try to do different things. And you simply don't have enough community police to go around and try to deal with these things. And so you need something a little bit more of a mass scale. And I think that ultimately was the biggest challenge. But since we have a moderation platform, since we do take user safety very seriously, it's something that we believe that you can have that right balance, that you can have political speech protected, make sure that no one is ever going to be shadow banned or sentenced or algorithmed or deplatformed because of their political beliefs, but also say, you know what, we have some basic rules such as you can't threaten people with illegal activity, and or for example, there's no pornography that's allowed on GETTR. There are other places to go if that's something we want to partake in, but not on our platform.
Fantastic. CEO of GETTR, Jason Miller, with us right now. You're the former senior advisor to President Trump, and his voice being eliminated from Twitter has caused such a crack in our ability to communicate with one another. But his voice is now a movement, and those people involved in that movement are usually the ones who are targeted on these platforms. And I'm curious, going into a 2022 election cycle and potentially a 2024 where we may or may not see President Trump running for re-election again, if you feel as though his voice on your platform is something that could possibly be in the future, or if you think it's even necessary at this point because of how big the movement is.
Great question. So, of course, I want to get President Trump on here, and as we still talk probably every couple of weeks here, and I'm still his number one wingman. As I've told him, I hope that he does really well with Truth Social with his platform, but just not too well. I also hope mine does better. But obviously, if President Trump runs again in 2024, I'll be the first person out there to say that we got to go and get President Trump reelected and help out as much as I can. Just maybe not 18 hours a day like I used to. Maybe it'll be just a few hours a day. But we need President Trump off the sideline and active. And the simple fact is this: put aside the 2024 component, but we need the proverbial Trump voter, the people who really just show up to vote for Trump. We need them active in 2022 the way that they were in 2021 with Glenn Youngkin. And the Trump voter showed up in that election in Virginia. And it was pretty close. I mean, Glenn Youngkin, even though Terry McAuliffe was a terrible candidate, just Virginia's trended really leftward, and Youngkin just barely got over the hump. So it's important we turn out Trump voters in 2022 because, Annie, the way this is setting up, Republicans could win 60, 70, maybe even 80 seats. Right now, the numbers are even greater than the landslides of 1994 or 2010. When you think about historic red waves that have come crashing through, the numbers are looking even better for Republicans in either of those 2 years. So we need the Trump voters. We need everybody showing up. But the other thing, too, is I think when you look back at President Trump's record, he was easily the most successful single-term president in U.S. history. And we accomplished so much, and we've seen things backslide so badly. And especially this, I tell you, this mandate and this mask and this COVID handling stuff is enraging. The fact that this weekend you had Scott Gottlieb saying that masks are worthless. You had Fauci trying to reclassify who we consider a COVID patient and who we don't. I'm like, wait a minute, Fauci, you're saying if someone goes in for a broken leg and they're classified as COVID, that we shouldn't be counting that as COVID? Yeah. That's exactly the opposite of what you said a year ago. So I think people are frustrated. They want to make their voices heard. And I think GETTR is a great place for them to do it.
Jason Miller, just 30 seconds left here before I have to let you go. You want just Trump voters, Trump supporters on GETTR, or do you want everyone?
I want everyone. In fact, our U.S. user base is only about 35% of GETTR's total, so we're 65% international. I want people from the left, from the center, from the right. I want people who don't even really care about politics. I think that's one of the great things where we started adding people like Enos Kanter, Freedom from the Boston Celtics, yes. Andrew Bogut, who used to play for the Milwaukee Bucks. He just joined GETTR. Joe Rogan. Joe might have a slightly center-right, kind of his own libertarian type viewpoint, but he's not some rock-solid Republican. We want people of all backgrounds. Here's my pledge to you, whether you're on the right, the center, or on the left. All users are going to be treated the same. All users are going to have their free speech protected. Even if I or anyone else on the team completely disagrees with what you're saying, if that's your political viewpoint, it's protected here.
What an unfortunately rare way to approach things. We thank you. Jason Miller, CEO of GETTR. We are very grateful for your time. We're going to let you go because we know you got more to do. Join GETTR, folks. GETTR.com right now. Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. He is the former senior advisor to President Trump. He is the CEO of GETTR, and great to get him on the show today. They were eager to talk to you, so I'm very glad that we were able to make that work. Go join GETTR and post at me. I got to figure out what that's called. At Annie Frey Show and GETTR. We'll be right back.
I saw Dr. Ty Parker over the couple weeks of Christmas. This is Ryan Wiggins, by the way. And I asked him how business had been. He said end of the year is always very busy, and then beginning of the year is always very busy. But that's because everybody who's on a schedule gets theirs done. You know, you have your insurance that either is ending or starting anew. So we're kind of getting past that point now. You should be able to call up there and get an appointment that's convenient for you, looking into the end of January, February. Get back on schedule with your teeth cleanings. Call my friend, Dr. Ty Parker, Fountains Family Dentistry. They're in Fairview Heights, Illinois, right off of Highway 64. Couldn't recommend their staff high enough. Steve will walk you through insurance, or if you don't have insurance, Christine will do your teeth cleaning, and Dr. Ty Parker will do everything else along with Patty. They're a great staff. They all work together great, and you can tell when you go in the office that they like each other, which is not always the case wherever you go, right? Dr. Ty Parker, Fountains Family Dentistry. Check them out, fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
When you have errands to run, do you like to run all over town, or do you try to make as few stops as possible? It's nice when you can get everything in one place, isn't it? Hi, this is Lori Heisey, owner of Heisey Advisory Group. I believe the same is true for retirement planning. You shouldn't have to go to one place for tax planning, another place for investment planning, and another place for retirement income planning. That's why Ken and I started Heisey Advisory Group. We wanted to build a company that could help families with all aspects of their retirement planning. We're more than just convenient. We're knowledgeable, experienced, and we'd love to help you create a comprehensive retirement plan so you can retire with confidence. Call 314-328-6000 to schedule a visit with us to talk about all things retirement. That's 314-328-6000.
Firm offers insurance but does not provide tax or legal advice. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
Social spending plans are stalled. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. No new progress is being made on President Biden's Build Back Better plan.
West Virginia Democrat Joe Manchin says he has not had new discussions with the White House about the nearly $2 trillion social spending bill he signaled opposition to last month.
There's been no conversations after I made my statement. I think it's basically, and I was very clear. I feel as strongly today as I did then.
With Build Back Better uncertain, Democrats are prioritizing a voting rights bill supported by Manchin, but Manchin is not yet signaling support for a filibuster carve-out to get around a 60-vote threshold.
Fox's Jared Halpern on Capitol Hill. Crews in Virginia are continuing efforts to clear a long stretch of Interstate 95 after hundreds of motorists were stranded from crashes tied to yesterday's winter storm. About 50 miles of the interstate was blocked. Some people report being stranded more than 20 hours and say they were running out of fuel, food, and water. Officials report there's been another attack against U.S. forces in Iraq.
2 drones, each rigged with explosives, have been shot down by defensive systems in Iraq after they flew towards an airbase hosting U.S. forces. That's according to Iraq's military and the coalition led by the U.S. combating ISIS. There are no reports of injuries. There was a similar attempted attack yesterday. Both were seemingly intended to mark an anniversary. It's 2 years since the U.S. killed a high-ranking Iranian general.
Fox's Simon Owen. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo won't face a criminal charge accusing him of fondling an aide. A prosecutor in Albany today announcing he's dropping the misdemeanor charge, saying the evidence was credible, but felt he was unable to meet their legal burden at trial. Cuomo has denied any inappropriate touching took place. America's listening to Fox News.
Why does Walgreens offer copays as low as $0 and 90-day refills? Because we care about Medicare, so you don't have to. I mean, do you really care to hear me go on about same-day prescription delivery making your life easier? Or how there's a pharmacy expert available 24/7 and one-click refills? Well, I just did anyways. Fill your Medicare prescriptions with Walgreens and save.
$0 copays apply to Tier 1 generic drugs and select plans with Walgreens as a preferred pharmacy. Restrictions apply. See walgreens.com/Medicare for complete details.
Your goals, your future, your dreams. These things are none of our business. Your credit score, your true crime obsession, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m., that's really none of our business. Because your life is private, and unlike other tech companies, we think your internet should be too. Oh, is someone there? Oh, that's none of our business either. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
45 for the high, partly to mostly sunny skies. This is the warmest of the week. Tonight, very windy, dry, cold front coming through. Partly cloudy skies, 25. Wednesday, partly sunny, windy, and very cold, 32. A light, dry powder snow late Wednesday night and Thursday. Some small accumulations are possible, but it is going to snow across St. Louis. This is 97.1 FM Talk Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mark Cox here. We're taking the show live to the Missouri State Capitol this Wednesday, January 5th. We're going to speak with the governor, with House members and senators as they kick off the 2022 Missouri legislative session. Redistricting will be a big issue this year. Will legislators eliminate a Democratic district? Plus, bills to repeal the gas tax and ban mask mandates have already been filed. Don't miss the Mark Cox Morning Show live in Jeff City, January 5th, 5 to 9 a.m.
Stewart's American Mortgage, home of the bagel loan. I was talking to Stewie today, and I was late because I had this New Year thing. My Outlook calendar and my regular calendar were not in the same place, and I was hustling in to talk to Stewie, and I made it, and it was dramatic. But when I sat down to talk to him, he was talking to me about you and how great working with the Annie Frey Show listeners, how great it is. You guys have your act together, and he appreciates you so much. So I want to forward along that sentiment to you, and a very public apology once again for being late, which I've apologized 30 times, and he was very kind about it. He has bagel loan. He's the only guy who has the bagel loan. He's the bagel loan guy. And when you go to sit down with Stewie and you survey the current climate as it is right now, interest rates are going up. I think only 15-year loans are still in the twos. Everything else is going up. It is the time now to call or text Stewie about the bagel loan to see if you can do that cash out refinance and get it done now. If you want to secure these low rates, do it while you still can. And here's the kicker. He can close in 14 days. It's amazing. I've done it myself. It's real. The bagel loan has no fees. Everybody else out there, they have fees. You don't have them when you do the bagel loan with Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. You can text him right now, 314-324-4440. Say, Annie was saying something about a bagel loan. Can it work for me? And he'll get right to you. That's his personal cell phone number. NMLS number 226715.
Want to do something fun while helping a local charity? Well, here's your chance with Friesen for Funds. On Saturday, January 8th, join friends and fellow community members for a jump in the pond at Glazebrook Park in Godfrey, Illinois. We'll be out there from 10 a.m. to noon. You can visit coldengodfrey.com to register. For $25, you'll receive a cool t-shirt and an entry to the charity of your choice. Mayor McCormick will draw one lucky winner at the end of the event. The more people who register for a charity, the more likely it is to win. So if you're a charity, school, or sports organization, make sure to tell as many people as you can to get registered. Don't worry, you don't have to jump in. You can join us for donuts from Mr. Donut Coffee, Shivers Frozen Custard Coffee Cart, and hot cocoa from the Salvation Army. Again, it's January 8th at Glazebrook Park in Godfrey, Illinois from 10 a.m. to noon. Register today on Facebook at Friesen for Funds with a $sign, or visit coldingodfrey.com.
Worried about what you're breathing in? With each breath, allergens, germs, and viruses get trapped in your nose. Now there's a simple, easy, and effective way to clean your nose and protect your health. It's called Navage. Navage. Available at Navage.com.
This is Mark Cox inviting you to check out Odyssey's exclusive music stations like Wake Up and Rock. Hey, that sounds like a good segment for my show. Every station is at your fingertips using the Odyssey app.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is sponsored by the Loading Dock, with a unique and beautiful ice skating rink to enjoy this time of year. Go to GraftonLoadingDock.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not a married sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Just got done speaking with Jason Miller, the CEO of GETTR. Ryan Wiggins, are you on GETTR?
No, I mean to. I'm doing it. But I'm not there yet.
So lame.
I know.
You wanted to do a story yesterday on how cool it was everybody was going to GETTR.
I know. I took too much time on the story and not enough time on my personal branding.
That's like
this isn't one of those things where you're like, everybody's doing it now. I
was just gonna say it's the most Wiggins thing to like sit back.
No,
and be
this
like,
is the opposite. I've been waiting for something like this to happen because I hate Facebook and Twitter so bad, but the platforms work.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting. I want this to be the thing. Yes.
So Ryan, you've been around. How long have you been on the show?
A little over 2 years now.
So a while.
Yeah.
So you've been working with me for a while. So I don't want to get too much into that.
Okay.
But we just had Hannah in here, associate producer Hannah. Did you hear our conversation?
I wasn't listening.
Yes, you were.
I wasn't that interested.
You were just telling me
you were talking
yesterday
about
a conversation you were eavesdropping on.
I was not. I don't try though. Like, if they're right there,
we're in the same room.
If somebody brings it to me on a platter and is like, I got some juicy stuff that I'm going to talk about right outside your door.
This wasn't juicy enough for you?
Juicy stuff.
So we have Hannah, our associate producer, who is working with us, and we love her. And I have just completely I gave her admin access to producing our on screen live product. So we stream the Annie Frey Show at GETTR. Ryan Wiggins isn't following the Annie Frey Show on GETTR.
I know why you asked that question. How long have I been working with you now?
Why?
Because you just let go. You let go. You are always, you have it. You got it under control. And you just brought in Hannah and said, here you go. That's unique. That's not like you.
I wanted you. That is exactly what I was going to say.
This is a little bit of hand wringing.
How many? Like literally.
She looks nervous.
I'm standing. I'm not sitting. I said to Hannah, I've made you an admin we use StreamYard as the platform we use to stream. And I said, I made you an admin. Here's how you do this. Here's how you do that. Here's how you make this happen. You have the 2:00 hour to do whatever you want. And then she left the room. And now if stuff happens, I don't know what's about to happen on the live stream. I assume she's going to be able to figure it out before the end of the show.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm pulling it up right now.
I mean, there's some
Hannah, do something weird right now.
She's probably. I will also add that I did at one time invite Ryan Wiggins to be an admin, and you never even checked the emails.
I apologize for that. I was super busy that day.
No, you're What about the other 7 times that I asked you if you were going to?
I forgot those days, but it's like a flashback now to when I was so busy. I feel so busy whenever you ask.
So if you haven't joined us in the live stream yet, now might be a fun time to do it. But I would also personally like to invite you to come onto the live chat comments on the Annie Frey YouTube channel and the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, because I would like you to welcome Hannah. And you can do that with a comment. So say hi to Hannah, tell her how long, maybe you just started listening to the show. Maybe you've been listening for a long time. We have some frequent commenters that are, they're faithful every day, and we love all of you, but we love the new ones too. Please consider coming just to say hi to Hannah, because she can feature your comment on the live stream, and she's going to need some content to work with. How do you, Ryan Wiggins, let's just give a surface level assessment of how you feel about Hannah's abilities as an associate producer.
Super high. I mean, everything I know about Hannah, which is very little, suggests that she is capable, super capable.
Capable?
Yeah. I mean, ultra capable. Because this is
doesn't capable have, isn't there a roof on capable?
no, not in my
I think
vernacular.
the word is ceiling.
Nope. Not on Hannah anyway. I know that you want to put a ceiling on her, but I
Knock it
won't.
off.
I just used the word capable in its proper form, Hannah. And Annie was like, there's kind of a ceiling on that,
She's
right?
changing stuff. It's happening. Oh, she featured. Do you see what it says
Is she
on there?
featuring me?
It says donate a golden doodle to Ryan Wiggins.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking for a Goldie. Anybody? Or a doodle. And not just a Goldie, but I need a doodle. Any kind of doodle.
She's making stuff happen.
Thank you. Love it. Doing a great job. This is what I meant when I said she has no ceiling.
No, you said she was very capable.
I
She knows
sure
how to
did.
win you over, doesn't she? I'll just put Ryan up at the big in the big screen at the center, make him the center of everything, and he'll love me.
I think she's misunderstood. There's Brad.
Yeah, there's Brad now. See, I think Hannah is great.
Yeah. Now's the time. Say the good things about Hannah. You get the screen time.
There's a lag when I'm watching. When this happens, it's a couple seconds behind before I realize that she is taking me down a notch.
I love working with young people who are hungry and excited learners. And you can just tell when someone's bright and has that extra thing. And that's definitely her. I've worked with so many people like that. So it's 2022. Let me do some math here. I started in radio. Follow Brad on Twitter. That's not how you spell Twitter.
I don't know, Hannah. You spelled Twitter with 2 eyes.
That's okay. It's her birthday. I've been in radio. My first foray into radio was in the spring of 2006. I was Frank Cusimano's intern at KFNS Sports Talk. And that people would ask me what kind of person Frank is, and he's a wonderful person, and it was such a pleasure to be able to work with him in sports talk radio because he's so smart and he's so connected. But it was interesting to see how much young help had to contribute there, and I mean there is it's probably like this in every industry, but there is. If you're going to give your full self to the job, you're going to go somewhere. If you're not, you can stay sedentary for a long time in this industry. Have you experienced that? You've been in TV a lot more than radio. Oh, well, not even. Which have you done more, Ryan?
I think years-wise now it's radio, but it was pretty close right when I started here. Now I think I've done a little more radio, but yeah, I mean, you see people all the time who I struggle with this as a person. As I get older, I don't want to become complacent.
Mm-hmm.
And I find the older I get, the more I'm like, well, I just don't have as much energy. So I'm not out there trying to do as much. And it honestly worries me. It's a fear of mine that I'm going to become complacent because I've never been that way.
Yeah. It also when you are doing what you're doing, not just for yourself, when you have mouths to feed.
Right.
Consistency is good because that's the point, is to, this is my job. This is how I go to work. This is how you go to work. So, everybody, you're blessed if you do something that you love, but it's still work. It's still a job. It needs to provide for your family. And if you're going to switch that up and take a risk, if you feel like you're just doing it for yourself, it's not a risk you can take. But if you feel like it will ultimately benefit your family, then maybe it is one.
That's very true. And this is a weird thing to say because it sounds like my family's bringing me down, but I've had to sacrifice my personal ambition to an extent.
It anchors you.
For my family.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. In the moment, it's hard to do, but I've had to tell myself, no, guard your time a little bit better. Don't try to do too much because you have a family.
But honestly, from the moment you find out that you're pregnant, that's every day. You are sacrificing of yourself to provide for somebody else. I mean, it's a selfless act. It's okay when you're like, this sucks. I wish I could go do this, that, and the other thing, but I can't because I have a bigger responsibility to somebody else. Um, but I mean, that hits you in various forms on a regular basis as a parent.
Yeah, I thought I was pregnant the other day, but I just had COVID. Peed on that test.
Oh my gosh.
We were getting a little too deep.
You peed on a COVID test and it was positive.
Yeah. So I was told
I don't know which part
redo
of
that
that is
test
wrong.
because I don't think you did it right. And then I was negative, so I thought, I'm probably fine.
Oh.
I will say this, Hannah. You've done a great job in comparison to who was in that role before.
What?
Dave Klein is gone and good riddance, man.
Oh my gosh.
He was so bad.
Is he on the chat?
I don't know. I
He
hope
is from
so.
time to time.
I really hope he is.
Dave Klein, we never asked Dave Klein to manage the live stream.
Nope, we didn't.
To be honest, folks, what percentage of the live stream production would you say I do in a given day?
I would say
A
you're
show.
probably like 75 to 80% of
I was
it.
going to say about that because Brad knows StreamYard and Brad does stuff with it, but I'm a lot of times featuring the comments because they're the comments that I'm going to react to or talk about. So keep them coming, folks, on the Annie Frey Facebook page, Annie Frey Show Facebook page, or the Annie Frey YouTube channel, whichever you prefer. You can go on there and join the live chat right now and say hi to Hannah and tell her things that you like about the live stream, things you would like to see about the live stream. She can feature your comment. She has up there right now, join the discussion on Facebook Live at the Annie Frey Show. So yeah, I love this. This is great. She's raising the bar. Raising the roof.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is no roof on you, Hannah, unlike the previous guy. Man, I'm taking shots at Dave for no reason. I really hope he's on.
That at all.
I know.
Dave was such an awesome
He's
person to be the
terrific.
whole time. Ryan's just throwing
I want to make
haymakers.
a thing out of me making Dave
Impossibly
into a villain.
patient and kind too. I mean, like in real life, which is weird that you're deciding to trash him because that's
know.
not been an
You can't
Annie
do that
Frey
to
Show
anyone.
thing. He never would have treated you that way.
Look, did you guys see before we get past the streaming stuff that Rand Paul? Did you see what he decided to do? I think he's the first member of Congress to come out and say, I will not be on any platform. And this is in the wake of the GETTR thing, which is why I think it's
I
interesting.
saw a headline that suggested, but I didn't read it, so I don't know what the thing is. He won't do what?
Well, he said because these people, just like everybody else, they built up these platforms with all these followers, and then all of a sudden you're either throttled or you're being banned, or you can only say certain things, So everybody's trying to figure out, well, what do I do with all these? I built this thing up. So he's in the same boat, just like everybody else. He said, I'm actually going to sacrifice my own YouTube channel. Now, I still may get on there to do two things. One, to criticize YouTube. Two,
for a moment,
to tell people to go watch my other things. I just get on there to do an ad for a different thing.
Is he doing Rumble?
I don't know I think he said Rumble, and I don't know if he said GETTR or not, but he specifically was targeting YouTube and I think Facebook and some of the others.
It's really how it's going to have to change, because even if some of these laws get changed, or the Section 230, which that's the difference between being a publisher and a platform.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like basically saying, do you get to be the gatekeeper for what information gets put out or no? Which is it? Because if you were gatekeeping information, then you don't get to have, what is it? It's like, are they taxing stuff?
Editorial ability. Oh, you're talking, yes.
Section 230?
Yes. You get protection. You just get different protection from the law.
Immunity.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going to be a platform, you are immune.
We don't talk about immunity on here.
Yeah,
YouTube
you're immune
sake.
from being sued for stuff that is posted on
YouTube,
your
just
platform.
YouTube. No, everybody's vaccinated or something.
Yeah, from YouTube.
Yeah, everybody's
from
vaccinated
Rumble.
from YouTube.
GETTR. Twitter. Panic.
Yeah.
That's your panic face.
Listen, YouTube, we do not like Rand Paul at all. We're with you. Wink. Oh, wait, they can see that on YouTube. They can't see it on the radio.
For now. All right, let's take a quick break. Hannah is doing a great job. Keep the comments coming. Come join us. Let's get a big crowd here on the live stream. Ooh, she changed the colors. I like it. You can do whatever you want, Hannah. I told her it's all yours. Whatever you do, you do. Get on the live stream and see how her first, literally, she just looked at this for the first time 10 minutes ago?
We need to get her a camera so we can talk to her live while she's doing these changes.
Or she could just come in the room.
Or she could just come in here.
Yeah, she's right there.
Yeah.
On the other side of the door. Quick break. We'll be back with more of the Annie Frey Show in just a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show. Nobody else is reporting what we are. So if you want to make sure you're not missing the most important stuff, follow 97.1 on Facebook or Twitter. If you're lucky, they'll let you see a good 25% of it.
You want to know what wagertainment is? It's the picks, the analysis, the information, mixed with the laughter and the entertainment. Smart sports betting content that'll put a smile on your face.
The BetQL Network, streaming live each day and helping you bet smarter.
If you're a sports fan, you know why you should listen. It's sports betting content without the BS. No hot takes, no nonsense.
All the insight you need to bet smarter is at BetQL.com. And listen to the BetQL Network, streaming live right now on Odyssey.
Small business owners sometimes go broke. My first business startup in the 80s was a fledgling startup story. Credit cards were maxed, car had bald tires, house had broken windows, and my employees got paid before I did. But my diet of hot dogs and mac and cheese was to die for. Hi, I'm Mike Capel, founder and CEO of Patriot Software. My business startup was messy. Actually, I was broke. My wife and I lived on fumes for 4 years. To escape our financial reality, we played board games and dreamt of someday owning our own boardwalk and park place. That's why I created my 5th successful company, Patriot Software, to help small business owners do their payroll without going broke. And if you need help, we will help you for free. Go to patriotsoftware.com and enter promo code RADIO, and I'll give you 2 months of payroll processing free. That's patriotsoftware.com.
Tom and Shirley were shocked when they realized that their retirement income wouldn't come close to letting them do everything they wanted to do. They did have plenty of equity in their home, so they checked out a reverse mortgage. But the idea of taking on mounting debt and so much red tape, no thank you. That's when their financial advisor told them about TrueHold. When they compared TrueHold to a reverse mortgage, the advantages were clear. While both let you stay in your home, the huge difference was money. A reverse mortgage would pay them only a fraction of their home's total value, while TrueHold paid them 100% of their home value minus a small fee. Bottom line, TrueHold paid twice the cash as a reverse mortgage, and they could stay in their homes renting as long as they wished. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com and see how easy they make getting 100% of your home's value within 30 days. That's 1-855-300-9993 or go to TrueHold.com.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
If you ever change your mind about leaving me behind, oh, bring it to me. Bring your sweet loving. Bring it all close to me. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Well, there she is. Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We got Hannah now in studio with us, so people have been commenting on, and you just said you had a specific comment from Balls.
We got to turn you on. Okay, now you're good.
Yes, I had some comments from Balls for you, so I appreciate that. They congratulated me on my new position, so thank you. I love it here already.
His real name is Joe, and we've met him. He's come to an event that I did, and we were all there, and he's great. She comes in and she goes, there was somebody on there who kept commenting, but his name was Ball, so I didn't put him up there. I'm like, oh, we know.
I get that. I get that, Hannah. You're really not in the wrong here, because if somebody says, love your new position, sincerely Balls for you, you go, yeah, I don't know who this is, but he's a fanny. He's been with the show for a long
I
time.
wasn't sure if I should put it on the ticker that like goes all the way across the stream, like huge balls for you. I just
Yeah, don't put huge in front of it.
okay.
In the
Maybe
future.
not. I meant the text size, but okay.
Yeah, it's not all that matters, Hannah.
I think
my
Annie's
gosh.
crying right now.
Hannah's here to save the show, but we seem to have driven into a ditch.
Somebody reach across pulled the steering wheel and pulled us into the
Why
ditch.
are you so offended by that, Ryan?
He took it personally, didn't
No, I
he?
did not.
Very. That's all
I've
that matters,
heard.
Hannah.
Are
No,
you
I've
sure you
heard.
still want me on the show?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yes.
don't know.
I
Yeah,
am positive.
I don't know.
I
I think
you
we found your
say?
ceiling now.
Please come on to the live chat
I
right
just
now.
told my mother to join this chat,
Ouch.
which is even better.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Hannah's mother.
My first debut on radio. And what do I say? That.
Does your mom have a good sense of humor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
I also-
really.
I
She's like,
also
"I'm
told
so
like
grounded."
grandma, like everybody.
That's
I
fantastic.
told them to join.
I need you, if they're listening right now, thank you for tuning in. Hannah, I need you to find out what they think about Ryan.
My mom already like basically she was like, "Oh, I love Ryan. He's
Oh,
so
stop it.
funny."
Love that. Love that. I always thought your mom was great.
Oh, Ryan.
Yeah. No, I like I said before, Hannah's got really an unlimited ceiling. And I think she gets that from her mom.
Oh my.
I was saying that in the break, Hannah.
Do you want
Wasn't
her to
on
buy
air,
you
but
a
I was
golden
saying-
doodle?
Yeah.
Is that why you're saying
Yeah,
that?
I do. If your mom could buy me a dog, that'd be great.
I don't know. Didn't
Ooh.
somebody say something about you putting a golden doodle in the air fryer earlier?
Yeah, Brad.
It was weird. Brad took it there. We try, as you know now,
We're really
from being
taking it there today.
on the show, we try to keep this show clean and friendly. And Brad took it to boiling a dog. Yeah,
Air frying.
air frying.
Oh,
sorry,
that makes it a little better.
We talked about boiling a frog with Jim
right.
Carafano.
that's right. Was that a while ago though? Was it recently?
No, that was today.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Ah, doggone it! I
You
missed that.
accidentally listening to the show again when you're not in here? All right, Hannah, go back out there. People are going to come on the live chat and comment and say hi. You can click on their comment to feature comments that you want to.
Okay.
Just hover over it and click the button and put their comments up on the live chat. You're in charge. And like Ryan said, it's not really my style to be like, here, take it. You go do your thing.
I'm excited. I might put balls for you up there. You never know.
All right. Thanks, Hannah. Oh, appreciate it. Did you get to listen to the GETTR, the Jason Miller interview?
I listened to the very end of it. I have other random responsibilities here, so I try.
So I'm curious how you both feel about the impact of something like GETTR or the impact of something like Parler was in the moment, or Rumble. We're on Rumble as well. I think that it is a very necessary thing to have happen. And I don't know if the success of it and the contribution of it is going to be because it's going to change Twitter or it's going to make Twitter obsolete. What do you think?
Either one's fine. The competition is the point. And they've stifled competition. These people are so in cahoots. Remember when they banned Trump back, it probably was January of last year, probably about a year ago. They banned Trump from Twitter, which was a big deal because Trump had the most Twitter followers, I think, in history of anybody ever.
Mm-hmm.
And they banned him. And then everybody was so mad about that they decided we're out of here. We're going to Parler. Remember what they did? Apple, in cahoots with Twitter, probably.
And Amazon, I think.
And Amazon all decided to deplatform Parler at that very moment. And it only took a week. They got their platform back, or a week or two. But it was that moment that they missed, that could have been the competition. That's what I'm hoping this is.
Well, that's what we did talk to Jason Miller about that and asked him, like, why is this different? And they're setting it up specifically to be different. They also have involved in it a policing way that the way he illustrated it, Parler was a self-policing, like a community policing thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just not enough, especially if you do have bad actors who come in. And, the question is who determines who the bad actor is? Because right now Facebook is saying that story that just came out where Facebook shut down that conservative children's book published author or whatever.
Yeah.
They shut it down and it was accidental. You know that there was an algorithm. There was a word that they used somewhere that tripped something that said, nope, can't do this. And then they're like, oh, well, this is not really what we're trying to keep off. But there's something that was there that said, nope, not allowed. And when you create algorithms, I mean, I understand the concept of algorithms. You're trying to weed out bad actors. But right now, conservatives are bad actors to Facebook and to Twitter and to YouTube. If you have a conservative ideology, if you have a conservative foundation that causes you to ask a question, that maybe if you asked the question, maybe if we were allowed to have an open and honest conversation about things from a conservative standpoint, you'd get an answer that would change your mind. Can't even do that.
Yeah, it's an arm of the Democrat state. It's a weird relationship that they all have, that they censor and they expect that these people. I posted the other day, one of my favorite on Twitter, one of my favorite singers liked this post that I reposted from Sean Lennon, and I thought that says it all right there.
John Lennon?
John Lennon's son. You with me?
No.
Okay. Sean Ono Lennon is the son of Yoko Ono and John Lennon.
Okay.
He's, I wouldn't say conservative, but he's certainly libertarian minded. He said, you keep banning these people. And this was in the light of the Marjorie Taylor Greene stuff. He said, you keep banning these people and it just amplifies their voices.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just retweeted that. Well, then one of my favorite singers, the lead singer of Space Hog. Do you remember them?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah. He liked the tweet.
Brad, wait, stop. Do you know Space Hog?
No.
Neither.
Oh, come on. No.
Yeah, you totally fell for it. You're like, oh, yeah.
Oh,
And I'm like,
man.
he's not serious. Space Hog?
Space Hog. Yeah, they sang In the Meantime was their big breakthrough hit. If you heard it, you'd know it. And a few others. But he was also married to Liv Tyler. He's kind of a big deal, you guys. Look him up.
I am right
and
now.
He liked that post. So I think it was just neat because it was proving that in the midst of this, and I'm glad people are migrating to GETTR, although it's not that I'm partial to GETTR.
Is this a clean In the Meantime? Is that a clean song?
Yeah. Yeah. You want to go out with it? Or are you just going to play it? Everybody knows this song. You will know this
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, everybody wants to go out with me. You want to go out with it?
song. Yeah.
That's what I thought you meant at first. And I was like, no. Why would I want to go out with it?
She saw it online. You want to go out with it? There you go.
Should I know it by now?
Give it a second.
Brad?
Nope, not yet.
Oh, come on, you guys.
Nice bass line. Never heard of this.
This is a huge hit. It takes a minute to get to the words, unfortunately.
In Wiggins, America?
Yes.
Is it the anthem?
No, this was a big hit in America.
That's
part I
familiar.
know.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm a little more familiar with that.
So they came out with a couple albums in the mid-90s.
So that guy...
Really good, that guy. He was married to Liv Tyler for a long time. Was part of the rock echelon. And yeah, he follows me on Twitter, apparently. Didn't even know it.
Is it appropriate to go up to somebody and say, hey, do you follow me on Twitter?
It is now. I'm going to start doing that at KFC tomorrow.
Who are you? They probably know your order. Hannah came in here and we were talking about it. And Brad's first question was, hey, do you follow me on Twitter? I was like, I don't think you can ask that. He's like, why not? Can you ask that?
Yes.
The fannies, the super fans of the show got on me last weekend for not following them back. So
You're a bad friend.
I am. Yes, I am. I didn't follow Brad until...
Do you follow me on Twitter?
2 months after I started working here.
Yeah, I don't even realize that I'm not. Because I see so many of you guys' posts from other people liking them and stuff. I didn't even realize it.
Because there's so many likes.
I mean, I got so much to do on there. I'm so busy.
No, okay. So honestly, though, I mean, I don't look at my Twitter account as a social connection. It's like an information connection.
Me too.
So there are a lot of people in my life who I love dearly that I don't necessarily want to read their Twitter feeds.
Well, that's ideal. I don't want them to read mine either. I like keeping the things separate.
So is there an obligation to follow? Are you obligated to follow my Twitter?
Well, I like to know what you're watching so that I can keep up with things on the show.
So that's more professional. That's
Yeah.
not really. That's probably a bad example. Do you follow Hannah on Twitter?
I don't know. Is Hannah on Twitter?
She said she isn't. So I thought it was an interesting question because it's one thing to be like to friend on Facebook is a different thing than to follow. And people, if I like somebody's post or something on Twitter, if I like their tweet, and it's maybe somebody who isn't a high profile person, because I do personally try to interact with a lot of people, regardless of how many followers you have. If you have people say, Annie, don't talk to them, they have 13 followers. I'm like, I know a lot of very reasonable, nice human beings who don't have any Twitter followers. So I don't value somebody based on that. But if I like it, they'll follow me and then they'll like tweet at me. They're like, be a friend and follow back or something like that. And it's like, no, that's not. I just think Twitter is different.
Yeah, it's brand building, especially for what we do.
Or information exchanging, whereas on Facebook or probably, you're not on Instagram, are you? You don't strike me as an Instagram type of person, although it would be really funny.
I only post recipes on there, and I do it under Pierre Delecto.
Randomly.
Yeah.
It's more of a relational thing on those platforms. All right. Well, the Annie Frey Show streaming live right now on the Annie Frey YouTube channel, Annie Frey Show Facebook page, among other places like GETTR. Go check out what we got going on there. Say hi to Hannah, who is moderating the product right now that we're putting out on our live stream. Tell her how she's doing. Tell her things that you like to see, things that you wish you could see on the live stream. And we'll be back with more show in just a minute.
I know I laughed when you left.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Bring it to me. Bring your stick loving. Bring it all home to me.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Frank Cusimano. Ryan O'Reilly has said it best. If you are vaccinated and you have no symptoms, then you shouldn't be tested every day. If they keep doing this, we're just not going to see professional sport.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is online at igotfloored.com. igotfloored.com. Michael's Flooring Outlet has been providing the St. Louis area with wonderful flooring products for great value with the best in customer service for over 25 years, going on 30 years now. If you have a flooring purchase in your future, you need to make sure you go online to igotfloored.com and check out the different type of products that they have in stock. Yes, you can go to the website at igotfloored.com and you can see products that they have access to right now, so you don't have to get caught up in those supply chain issues and the waiting and the waiting and the waiting. If you are looking for wonderful carpet, they have a whole different bunch of options in the Mohawk Smart Strand series, where you can see flooring carpet that's going to accommodate your house. If you have a pet, if you got kiddos, if you have allergy issues, they have an amazing assortment of products for you to check out. And you need to go online to igotfloored.com to see what they have, or go visit them at any one of their 3 locations around the city. igotfloored.com.
Home values have skyrocketed.
Which means, even if you refinance in the last year, you can still save money with Golden Oak Lending's low 1.875% rate.
I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak. With our low rates and your increased equity, you can make home improvements, eliminate your mortgage insurance, or pay off those holiday credit charges.
Woohoo! Call 314-567-GOLD today and skip your first 2 mortgage payments.
And remember, if we can't close your loan, the appraisal is no charge.
Golden Oak's low 1.875% rate is as good as money in your pocket. Call 314-567-GOLD today and start saving.
Golden Oak Lending, short my blues.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.952% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Attorney Joe Cordell. New school, new job, new home.
Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated, and divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone, but you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood Parkway, Suite 310, Chesterfield, Missouri, 63017. CordellCordell.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Bringing you up-to-the-minute traffic like nobody else. Sue Thomas and dependable traffic, driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's Tuesday, and we are grateful that you are here with us. A quick recap of the show today. Congressman Rodney Davis was on with us at 12:25, and he was calling out this sham partisan committee. Is a select committee. I was calling it a commission, and he corrected me rightfully and saying it is a committee. Ryan, were you able to listen to that interview?
Yeah, I was.
What'd you think about the way he was calling out the obvious? I mean, we all know that what they're doing on that committee it's a political campaign ad.
Well, you know what's funny is that he's exactly right, and polling supports what he's saying, kind of what we say when we talk about it. That's that I would say it's like 75% of Americans call that a partisan exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean that some of the people who call it a partisan exercise don't support it, but the support for it is actually underwater too. So it's weird because there are only a couple issues that Democrats are really fighting for. That's one of them.
What do they want the outcome to be? Isn't the honest? I mean, I don't know how they phrase this, but the outcome is that Donald Trump will never rear his ugly head again to Democrats. That's what they want.
It's that, but I also think that because we're talking about socials, when people argue January 6th, they feel like they win it. So there are a lot of people who are hard left who use that a lot on Twitter and Facebook and whatever to fight.
What are they fighting? Who are they fighting?
I think they're trying to find an issue because they're dyed in the wool left. They're not going right. They're trying to find an issue that they can say, this is where I'm right. And it's January 6th. And I'm going to park there and I'm going to use that and use it and use it. And I think that the Democrats in Congress see that and they're responding to basically their base saying, we want you to do this. That's part of it. And then the Trump thing is the other. The third, though, is that they're trying to change the voting laws in this country. And they're going to keep doing January 6th.
Well, the connection to voting law changes and January 6th, in my opinion, is incredibly too far of a stretch.
Agreed.
There's no connection whatsoever. And honestly, if there was a connection, it wouldn't be in the Democrats' favor because a lot of what was done to change voting laws going into the 2020 election was done under a pandemic an umbrella of we need to make sure that nobody is hindered to be able to. I know people who had COVID on election day who needed to make sure that they were able to vote, but didn't know what to do because by the time that, you can't pull an absentee ballot, specifically in Missouri. You can't pull an oh gosh, that stupid spider commercial. I hate it every time. You can't pull an absentee. It's such a big spot. Oh gosh, it's so awful.
Yeah, it bites the guy's arm.
I've never watched the end of it, and I just saw a swollen face. Liberty Mutual, is that what it is?
Yeah.
The worst.
I think it's a brilliant commercial, though.
I hate it. it makes my stomach upset. If you are somebody who comes down with COVID, if you suspect you have COVID, don't go vote and infect other people with COVID. You have to have, it's sensible to think that you have to have measures in place to accommodate people so everybody's vote is counted. I am absolutely okay with modifying things under the current circumstances that we're in right now. But Lord have mercy, why wouldn't you want someone to prove who they are when they're going to vote? Like, that is not an irrational suggestion at all.
That's what most Republican states are doing. They're trying as much as they can to actually open up the vote to allow anybody who wants to vote to be able to vote.
Republicans are not opposed to any citizen voting ever. None. No opposition. Ever.
They just want security. Just want to make sure that if you say, I'm Joe Smith, that you're Joe Smith. That's it. That is not an unreasonable expectation. Again, I'm going to polling, but voter ID laws poll extremely high across parties.
Demographics too. I don't care about parties. Demographics.
Across demographics. That's
because
correct.
the only position that the Democratic Party has had success on trying to poo-poo that is suggesting that somehow it's a racist endeavor to suggest that people should have IDs. And I mean, you can see man on the street videos on many different platforms where they're like going to black people and saying, do you think that it would be racist to require people to have, and they're all looking at the person asking the questions like, how is that possibly racist? The one by Ami Horowitz, who he goes out in New York City and he says to this one black man, about, he basically asked him, like, do you believe it would be hard for you to get an identification card? And he's like, no, you just go to the DMV. And he goes, do you know where it is? And then he gave the literal address to where, like, the street number and name to where. And then when they say, well, you know, there are people who think that it's racist to consider requiring people to have an identification card. And then these individuals are like, well, that's kind of implying that I'm too stupid to go get an ID. Yep.
Yes, it is.
That's the implication. That's racist.
Yes.
That's racist. That in and of itself is a racist thought, and they're using it because nobody challenges them. I mean, I can challenge you here in the confines of noon to 3 on 97.1 FM Talk. I'm sure I'm really penetrating the Democratic think tank right here on this station. The actual mechanism that they're using to try to suppress people from even speaking on this issue is to accuse those people of racism when they're in fact being racist themselves by virtue of saying that it is racist to require people to get IDs because there are individuals who have a hard time getting it.
For all the reasons that you just mentioned and beyond, I have been and continue to be really down on 2020. Don't like the way that was handled for a variety of reasons that are still ongoing in some cases. However, going forward, 2022 and 24, here's where I will part with a lot of people who agree with me on the first statement. I'm actually very confident going forward because I think that most of these states have done what it takes, and there is such a spotlight on these things that when people say, why are you voting anyway? That's a terrible idea. You have to still vote, and you should trust it more now than you did before.
If you are somebody who is frustrated with the way 2020 was handled, or if you have questions about the way it was handled, or if you're a skeptic, whatever it is, if you're one of those people, and I don't even know what the deadline should be, but definitely November of 2022. If you have not contacted someone to be a poll watcher or a precinct committeeman or be active in any capacity whatsoever, shame on you. Because the way that this changes is to make sure that we have people in place to be certain that it's fair. And if it's fair and your team loses, suck it up, Buttercup, and do better next time, getting better candidates and campaigning harder.
Agreed.
Don't sit on the sidelines and then whine and moan about it when the election is over and your person didn't win and you didn't put your feet in action. And if you are somebody who would like to consider doing that and you don't know where to go, message the Annie Frey Show Facebook page and I will help connect you with people who can put you in a position to be part of the solution. Because truly, in this case, more than anything, the American people are going to be the only thing that's going to ensure that the solution to, safe and fair elections where everybody gets to vote, Every citizen gets to vote once. It's on you. So step up. You got time.
Yeah, I think a whole lot of people are probably listening to that, because I would be one of them if I was listening. I was stepping back. If I was listening to this right now, what would I be thinking? It would be that, I didn't even think about that. Getting involved. It's one day, There are probably many ways that if you contact depending on where you live, the Republican Party or Democrat Party or wherever you want to watch, doesn't matter to me.
Contact your county party. I mean, if you're a Democrat and you're listening and you're worried that the Republicans are going to do some funny business, you should be a poll watcher too.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And you can contact these people and they will gladly talk to you. They will be happy that you are volunteering for these things. So do it. That's the way it happens. But going into this year, Annie, I don't know if you're optimistic, but I really am. I really think it's going to be amazing. Well, but the problem is getting to November. I mean, that's the biggest problem we have right now.
What could possibly happen?
Don't you say it.
What could possibly go wrong between now and then? Mark the tape. That would cause this red wave to crash into the shore and turn into a blue one.
Don't say it. Don't say anything about diseases.
When Trump
it's too late.
When Trump was like 2019, probably 2019, mid 2019. I should really go back and find myself saying, what could possibly happen? What would have to take place with this economy? No, not even that.
I know.
We've done that once. What could possibly take place that would stop this president from getting reelected? Global pandemic, not on my bingo card.
Yeah, that is a deep, deep issue.
Yeah. Vicky says I just jinxed it. Well,
no.
What can I do to unjinx it?
But everybody's on high alert now. That one caught everybody off guard.
Everybody.
I mean, we all going into that March of 2020, we're all like, oh yeah, we should just take a break for a couple weeks. I'm sure that's all it'll be. That would never happen now. No way. I don't care if it's World War Z, it wouldn't happen. People be biting each other in the streets. We're like, we're not shutting down the freaking economy again.
There are people who would, though.
There are people who try. There are people who try on Omicron.
Do you think that they are trying to do that because it's best for public health?
Not at this point.
No.
Does anybody care about how? I think there are certain people who are just so afraid that they're willing to do anything anybody tells them.
I think there are people out there who found out that they liked what their life was like when things were shut, working from home, not having to go anywhere.
Oh, there are things that might change in my life that I miss. I'm busy, way busy right now as a mom, not as like nothing. I mean, it's cool. Yeah. Love my kids.
It's cool.
I'm just so professionally busy. I just got so much going on. I can't even talk to people. If you message me on Twitter, thank you. I do not have time to respond. I've got so much going on right now. So sorry. I got rock stars following me.
What do you do tonight?
I'll probably just be on Twitter.
Avoiding people. Trying to seem important.
Or GETTR. I'll try to get on GETTR tonight.
Get on GETTR.
I will.
If you are on GETTR, I'll tweet out your GETTR name.
Thank you. I will do it. And it's going to be something very inflammatory.
Balls for you.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's taken.
Annie Frey Show sucks at GETTR.
That would probably be your Twitter name or your GETTR name. Yeah, I wanted to tell you said 5650.
56.
We have like 90 seconds.
Okay.
Snowstorm happens, car wreck happens. You're stuck in a traffic jam forever long for 24 hours in the freezing cold. Just like, was that Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? Are you prepared in your car right now?
Is there anything I can do other than just wait? Like, can I get out and run? Is that
you can probably do whatever you want.
This is like in the mountains of Virginia, though.
Am I prepared? I think so. I think we leave blankets in our cars long enough that I forget that they're there.
Do you do that to be prepared, or is it just because you have kids and they need blankets?
It's both.
Yeah.
Because before it was marriage, it was, we put one in there probably in 2009.
What about you? Is your car prepared right now?
I have coveralls and gloves in my car.
Of course you do.
He's got a propane tank probably in his car for that very situation.
The worst thing that I can do is clean my car.
Yeah, just don't do it.
The worst thing that I can do. The second that I clean my car, people are like, does anybody have a blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, yeah. No, I don't. I have one of everything in my car when my kids have taken control of my car. One of everything.
With the ages of our kids, either one of us could probably survive on the crumbs that are between the seats for a couple days.
It's you say, that's not even the worst.
We're just talking about survival, Brad.
Yeah, and kids that we love dearly.
That's right.
That are important to us. That will leave cheeseburgers under the seat
Yes,
for
they will.
a later time. Mark Reardon Show coming up. Don't go away.
Mark Cox here, inviting you to the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event with the Retirement Advisory Group. It's January 25th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Join me, Annie Frey, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you concerned how inflation might affect the stock market and your retirement accounts? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your 401k tax-free and generate more income than most investment options? Are you worried you won't have enough income to retire comfortably and live the same lifestyle as you are now? Do you also know how to protect your nest egg from market losses and still have growth potential? You'll get all the answers and more